Hello, I am Daniel Bloodworth. We are Easy Allies, and this is the Easy Allies podcast. This week, I'm joined by Michael Huber.
I will be checking the Dodgers score periodically during this podcast. Just know that.
As long as the audio is off.
There's no audio.
Audio off. Michael Damiani.
Yankees 4, Guardians 3, baby.
Did Soto hit one out or
Stanton homers to center field.
Oh my God.
Takes the lead.
Holy shit.
Making it all happen in the control room. We got Isla Hink.
Hello.
With Gabby getting the tweets going.
Gabby tweets.
Yeah.
Gabby tweets.
Don is out on assignment. I'm very curious what he's going to bring back for us.
Jeez.
He's done a
Hopefully
pretty...
he brings back the other camera.
Yes. He will bring back
As
the other
you can
camera.
see,
But
my angle is different.
Don has the coolest personality of all time. Every time I think he's like or whenever he's on assignment or out of town, I imagine him like as a PI in a foggy alleyway.
But you remember
That's
when he
probably
did
what he's doing.
Yeah.
the what was it? The California Extreme stuff. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, good stuff. Which I think he did that on the podcast, right? It wasn't a separate video. It's cool. Anyways.
Hell yeah.
Friends, we're here to talk about what's new, what's news, and what we've been playing. We've got that Xbox partner preview that happened this morning, so we'll talk about some of those games that were announced.
Wait, you gotta say the thing. We're gonna talk what?
I don't have to say the thing.
We're going to talk Xbox.
There it
You
is.
can say the thing.
He
Yeah.
doesn't like to say the thing. Confirmed.
Anyways, yeah, we got a lot of games to talk about from that. We're also going to talk about Sunderfolk, which was announced last week. It's one of the first games out of Dreamhaven, which is Michael Morheim's new outfit.
Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet.
Yeah, so
that's
former
what
Blizzard
it is.
people. We got that August sales report with the September sales report coming up in a couple weeks.
Oh, so important.
And then for games, we've got Neva, we've got Nikoderiko.
Neva or Neva?
What's weird is it's a different intonation every time you hear it.
Got
So
it.
it's like
Either
it's
or.
probably like Neva,
Neva.
but
Sounds like both.
Like
there's even a time where it's
Balatro.
like, was that Neva? Did I hear a Neva that time?
Chill.
So, yeah,
Nerve.
but that's the dog's name basically. So you hear it a lot because you have a button to call the dog. So.
Sweet.
RetroRealms, Huber's been playing some of that, some side-scrolling horror stuff. Also, Huber's been playing Unknown 9 Awakening, which is out tomorrow, and the beta for the first Berserker Khazan.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All that shit. Let's go.
Ben Star hype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're going to start
He's
with
blowing up right now.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. He's in that Claire Obscure that was announced the other day, too. That crazy French turn-based game.
And Hades too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep. Hades 2 as well. He's Prometheus. Ben Starr all over the place. But first, we're going to talk about the Xbox partner preview that happened today.
Yeah, we are.
Some good stuff in there. I'd say like a solid B, right? Like nothing to blow you out of the water,
Solid
but like
B.
very good like throughout.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like one, you're get in, get out, no downtime.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Because that happened this morning, I've not like gotten notes on everything, but I did get some things here, and then after I get through the stuff I have notes on, then I'll just have to wing it and go through whatever emails and Xbox articles I can find while we're talking. But of course, the number one thing we were tuned in for, which started the show, Alan Wake, the Lake House.
The Lake House. Our anticipation is high. Obviously, because going through Control and Alan Wake 2 and the title of this and everything, we knew that this DLC, we assume this DLC is going to really start connecting those games, overtly and more than subtle nods here and there. And this trailer proved that because of a character shown in the trailer.
Yeah.
So some good stuff here.
Yeah. So this is Agent Estevez, who we only really knew before because like the subtitles kind of showed it off, or if you recognize the actor's voice, right? Because the previous trailer at PlayStation, you just heard.
Oh yeah.
And we were assuming the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is they say this takes place in parallel with the first part of Alan Wake 2.
That makes sense.
So when Saga's coming in, then at the same time, Agent Estevez is going into the lake house.
Okay.
So
Cool. That's
and-
no big deal. Like, it doesn't need to be like directly after 2 or anything. It's all happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did say they wanted to lean into the horror side of things.
Yes, please.
In this.
Yes, thank you.
Hosanna.
Yeah.
And as you said, there's a teaser at the end. They confirmed that is Dylan Faden.
There it is.
In
I
the
didn't want
end.
to say the name, but they did themselves. So there you go.
Yeah.
Which makes this like a continuation.
Yeah.
Also, like
Crazy.
Because you said it takes place when?
It takes
What?
place at the beginning of Alan Wake 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy.
And then we see...
But after Control, I guess. Like,
yeah, I guess.
crazy.
Not 100% sure, but yeah, I think
Yeah,
it
who
has to
knows?
based on like the other stuff that was in Alan
Yeah,
Wake 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
But, it being the Remedy universe and, spirals and
Right.
oceans
Yeah.
and dimensions and time. So, yeah.
Can we get a flash sideways in there too?
For real.
Oh my God.
For real.
Flash up.
We have to go back.
This quote from the devs was is a little cheeky. I love these cheeky quotes sometimes. It did look a lot like Dylan. It might be worth really exploring the nooks and crannies of the lake house.
Funny. It's funny.
And then there's new enemy types that they said they wanted to get into because they wanted to say, like, with Alan Wake 2, like, they talked about the drowned and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And in here...
Contextually, it's
Yeah.
incredible, but I know there was a lot of fair criticism about just the lack of enemy variety,
Yeah.
which I understand.
So in this, it's the painted.
It's so cool.
That you see.
This paint
Yeah.
monster is one of the coolest things I've seen all year. This thing rules.
So it says they move in and out of paint on different surfaces, like hunting you, like
that's
going in and out of the paint.
That's
So
sick.
cool. You're gonna be
So-
like walking through these hallways. There's gonna be paint everywhere. You're just gonna be like, oh my god, it could pop out anytime.
We have
And I wonder
horror Splatoon.
I wonder if it'll like attack you too, and then and you're fighting, it'll run away and like hide in a paint wall, and then
Right.
maybe pop out from another side. Like, cool.
I'm curious if there'll be moments where like you could see just like a little bit of an outline. You know, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
I
how are
think
you
there's
gonna know?
something there?
Use
That
your
would
UV
be
light.
cool.
And then another thing that I thought was interesting about this, because I didn't realize this about Night Springs, is so like if you've beaten the game, you can go to the menu and you can just select the DLC. But they say that they've also integrated them both into the main course of events. So if you start a new game, these actually play out in the course of the chapters.
What?
What?
Yeah.
What?
So they say that
Come again?
the lake house is incorporated into the main game flow, so players will come across these missions while playing through the main campaign in a seamless manner. We really believe adding both Night Springs and the lake house into our core flow has improved the game's pacing,
Dude.
and makes for the ultimate Alan Wake 2 experience.
Fucking director's cut. That's
Yeah.
sick. How did the Night Springs one is so?
I have no idea how that works.
I would
Yeah.
love it if you would go up to the TV,
Yeah.
a TV, and it's playing it, and then you go in and do it, and then come back out, find another one. That'd be cool. But yeah, that's awesome. Wow, that's super interesting.
Yeah. So then, by the time you meet Estevez later in the game, it's like you already know Estevez really well.
Yeah, it's sick. Cool.
Yeah.
Does that work also for New Game Plus?
I'm sure it does.
Sweet.
Like they just added it in as part of the game. So
There you go. Everyone's stoked. That's
Yeah.
a cool way to play.
cool. Anything else before we move on? Next.
Isla, any comments, questions, concerns?
It looks sick. I don't know. I tend to fall in on the Control side of things rather
Yeah.
than the Alan Wake side of things. Like I like the story of Alan Wake, but not really the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm excited for this because it looks like kind of a marriage of both, and I think it'll be sick.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, I love everything Remedy does. So
Heck yeah. Yeah, I wonder, have they gone into Estevez at all? If, new tools or abilities or weapons or anything?
They do say that she has some stronger guns and that she has like a specifically like supernatural
Cool.
weapon. So
Cool. Yeah, I
they
think
didn't
we
get
saw,
they
like,
didn't
a
get too
grenade
deep
launcher
into
there.
it, but yeah.
Sweet.
I mean, she wouldn't have the director's pistol, but
Right. But they did make a point that like she's experienced in these kind of
Yeah,
phenomenon.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
a new thing for her. So
Yeah.
I wonder if Jesse will show up at all.
For reals.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, with seeing Dylan, it definitely makes you think she will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
Next up is Kronos, the
Kronos.
the new Dawn. which is a new game from Bloober, coming hot off of Silent Hill 2 Remake.
Coming in hot, dude.
Yeah.
Busy
Ride
Bloober,
that
man.
wave.
This was a crazy trailer because it's like you see them like playing chess and then like there's just like streams of blood and stuff, and then you go back and forth to like this like astronaut looking guy going through these horror areas, but they just keep cutting between the horror and the blood, but then the astronauts just playing chess like covered in
weird.
blood.
Kind of like, it's kind of Kingdom Hearts-esque a little bit. Kingdom Hearts 3 when Xehanort and Master Ericus are playing.
I was thinking that same
it's
thing,
A mind,
yeah.
it's a little bit of a mind game. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Well, and the astronaut is in the same room because you see the same like art items in the chessboard and stuff. So
Yeah.
either in the distant future or a parallel reality or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of what goes into this. So this is a twisted time travel story.
Twisted time travel.
Time
story.
travel. When has time travel not been twisted?
Set in an
Lake
unforgiving post-apocalyptic future and 1980s Poland. And then they say that you take on the role of a traveler, an agent of the enigmatic collective, with a mission to extract selected people who didn't survive the apocalypse from the past.
Oh. Did you say traveler?
Traveler.
The traveler. So the traveler has come.
V has come too.
Oh, you didn't get the quote.
The Traveler, dude. Yeah, what's that from?
The traveler has
Oh,
come.
I was
no,
like,
no, nobody said anything.
said
Did
it.
you?
Nobody
Did
choosed
you?
anything.
I didn't say anything.
I didn't choose
What,
anything.
Ray? What popped in there?
Thought of something that could not possibly hurt us.
Sounds like Ghostbusters or something.
It is.
Yes,
Ghostbusters.
you forgot
You
it.
got
I didn't know if you were doing
You got there.
Next Generation. Was that the Traveler? But
Yeah, that's another one, but I was doing Ghostbusters.
there's an echo
So-
when he's talking and I'm holding the mic.
Yeah, well, I
button
wonder
down.
when he
Don't
does
worry
this
about it.
claw thing at the end, if that's him extracting the person from the past.
Yeah, has to be.
Yeah.
But how do they?
How do they get extracted? Exactly, yeah.
Like suck up their bone and sinew, or what's going on
'Cause
here?
that's not a pretty looking device. It's
No.
just like set a teleporter down and beam me up.
Yeah. Yeah. What if you're just extracting their like biomass to like fuel something?
Yeah. Just get their DNA.
Yeah.
Do not know.
Cool.
But lots of biomass in the gameplay
Yeah.
we see.
It looks cool. It looks cool.
Next year.
Lots of biomass.
2025 is going to be the year of biomass.
Oh, man.
Next up, we got a shadow drop.
There it is.
Officially a shadow drop. Blind Fire from Devil 11.
I'm kind of intrigued on this.
The thumbnail made me
Who has
think of
done
Cyberpunk.
Rust Console
Yeah.
Edition and RimWorld Console Edition. Yeah, I've been reading up on this. I've got actually a lot of little quotes that like stuck out to me. This is on PC and Xbox right now. It's coming to PlayStation a little bit later. It's $9, which is nice.
Oh.
$9.
$9. That's like
the
heck of a.
Yeah,
What kind of
what?
price is
What
that?
kind of price? What? I gotta buy it on general
With, like
principle.
accessory pricing or something. Like,
Fair pricing
game
in
pricing.
Economia?
$9.
So basically, the premise of this is that
They're
like,
like, no, we don't want to charge 10. You know, we want to give back to the players. We're charging 9.
no, it's 9 flat, not $9.99,
It's
right?
it's
$8.99.
$8.99.
Oh, it's
That is
$8.99.
awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. But the basic idea of this is, yeah, we're just going to put everybody in a pitch black room and give them guns. And you've got to find people. And then I guess, like, as the
Laser
match
tag.
goes on, more lights will come up. But the whole idea is trying to find people in the dark. And so they talked about really, like, tweaking the audio design so that you can tell where people are at more easily.
Crazy.
They talk about the muzzle flash. So like you have to be really careful when you shoot because your muzzle flash is going to give away your position to the other people in the match.
Crazy.
And you only have like 8 bullets anyways, so you have to be really careful.
Nice.
At least with your main gun. It sounds like you do get other guns and stuff as well. But yeah, survive blind fire short rounds to be the last one standing in a free-for-all or team-based matches. Alone in the dark, players must dodge an arena filled with traps and obstacles, including UV lights that activate randomly
Use your
and
UV light.
security gates and sirens that are strategically placed to trigger audio and visual alarms that give away your position. So again, here's another thing, Huber.
Mm-hmm.
Team mode You have to worry about friendly fire.
Oh, jeez.
You shoot somebody in the dark, it might be your teammate.
That
good.
is
That's-
panic-inducing.
That seems
sounds kinda
essential to a
fun.
game like this.
Yeah, I really like that. I
Yeah.
really like that choice.
And then they say don't stay still too long. There's all this stuff to keep you from camping out a spot. Rethink spray and pray stuff. It sounds like they've just thought through a lot of these different things.
Yeah. Anytime you can come up with something we haven't seen in 2024, it's really commendable. Like, this is a very unique competitive shooter that we haven't really seen anything like this. It's really cool.
When you get taken out, Huber, then you get in control of the traps. So then you can start setting off lights and noisemakers.
Dude, Resident Evil Resistance vibes?
There we go.
Justice for Resident Evil Resistance. This game was awesome.
And then there's also, you see a little bit in here, but you do have a ping. You can send out what's called an echo, but it's on a very long cooldown. And there's also like a last known location kind of thing. So things like Splinter Cell kind of. I saw somebody there, but now I'm not sure where they are kind of thing.
Cool.
But yeah, it seems like a cool idea, and it sounds like when it's like one of those things where like when somebody like pitched the idea like in the room when they were like coming up with concepts, like it just like sparked everybody's imagination.
Yeah.
They just started running with it.
I like Damiani's call, dude. Laser tag vibes.
Yeah, I like the stuff, but you're supposed to start out in the dark. So I mean, yeah, I get what they're showing there. It's gonna evolve into that. Wouldn't like the best strat be at the beginning to like get prone and just like crawl and stuff? Just lay down. So it's like even when people start shooting, you're like on the ground. You bump into something, you shoot up, like right?
Could be, but that only works for the first shot. Then who's after you?
Yeah.
No, I mean, you could like if you run into someone, like kick them down or something, and you take them out without the gun. Be stealthy, man. I mean, in the video game, not in the real life, you'd fail horribly at this, but yes, in the video game, like, can you melee them? I'd absolutely do that.
Yeah, I wonder if there's melee.
Yeah, I'd be
Stealth
curious
kills.
how melee works. It might not be an instant.
Yeah, what
kill.
happens if everyone runs out of bullets? Then how do you win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you do pick up guns. You can find guns.
Oh, other guns. Okay.
Maybe you grab
you could
somebody
dual
else's
wield.
gun. Yeah,
All right.
we'll see. We'll see.
Kimbo.
Next up is Mouse PI for Hire, which we've seen before.
Yeah.
Well, we saw like early concepts when it was just basically like, Mickey Mouse is, free for everyone to
this
use. But it has evolved since then, and so this is basically the announcement. It's coming to consoles in addition to PC.
Gabe Clarkle is such a good name. That's so good. I like Clark Gable.
Vic Gattori, the Gator.
That's so good.
So they
this is interesting.
They referred to this animation as rubber hose animation, which I don't know if that was a term
Like-
that existed before or if they just.
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
What? Yeah.
But yeah, so it is black
The
and white,
physics?
and it kind of like things kind of bounce around when they animate, and it looks like you're in like Steamboat Willie kind of thing.
It looks amazing.
Gabby says that is a term. It's just what this style is
Got
called,
it.
I guess.
Nice. And
I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed
Dude,
with
look at this boss fight.
The guns, dude, the friggin' shotgun animation
reload.
is so cool.
I like how they put like a little Xbox in the trailer.
I love it. Coffee's hot.
Private investigator Jack Pepper.
Jack Pepper.
Jack Pepper.
Dude.
Better known as Pepper Jack.
You know what we need in this
he's
game,
holding
Isla?
some cheese too. Yeah, what?
We need the Who Framed Roger Rabbit bullets.
Oh,
We need those.
Oh my god.
Oh.
The racial stereotype bullets.
Right away.
I love those guys.
Racial stereotype bullets.
Yeah.
Fuck.
On a guns blazing adventure through the seedy criminal underbelly of Mouseburg.
Mouseburg.
It's a good name, Mouse.
Weapons, power-ups, explosives. Unravel the
Duckburg.
city's dark secrets and embark on a quest for justice.
Hell yeah. Quest for Otani just hitting a leadoff home run. 1-0 Dodgers, let's go.
Oh, I was like thinking of the Yankee game, like,
Let's go.
Otani, what? What happened? You hit it that far? You hit it to Cleveland?
Did that say take money?
Wait, what?
That
Take money?
Shotgun blast, and a little thing popped up. It was like take the money
Take
from the enemy, I think.
money.
Okay.
Economy, dude.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Take the money and run.
Next up, we got Subnautica 2, which got a little teaser trailer. Some folks down in the dark.
Subnautica, big time
Yeah, it's done
Juggernaut.
really, really well.
of the game.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's anything that, like, in the press release that actually officially introduces multiplayer co-op. Okay. So that's nice. Up to 4 players will be able to explore the ocean's vast environments and collaborate to craft tools, build bases, and face challenges. A planet teeming with both beauty and danger. New biomes, of course. Towering underwater cliffs, lush coral fields. Secrets at the heart of the planet. Oh,
Love
and
that.
it will be going into early access. So people will be able to get in there and get feedback and all that.
Ugh, I just noticed like a dilapidated like old skyscraper in one of the shots.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Got to get those new biomes.
It's a
though.
coral reef. It's not building.
Well, it still triggered my phobia.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. The water, though.
Yeah.
All right, what's next, Blood?
Next is Eden's Zero from Konami, based on the Hiro Mashima manga and anime series, which I was not familiar with.
Don't know that one.
Yeah.
It looks like Fairy Tale. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's the
thought this
same-
was
it's the
Fairy
same guy
Tale
as Fairy
related.
Tale. Yep.
So yeah, okay,
So,
that makes sense.
but it's a little bit more spacey. I saw some like good like melee combat and stuff in there, but there's guns in there as well, and swords and all kinds of stuff.
Looks like a keyblade.
Yeah, just look like. But yeah, I'm not familiar with this franchise, but
No.
Yeah.
good to see Konami doing some more stuff.
Seems like a win for anime. It's always good.
I heard that when they pitched this, he just walked into the office and wrote Eden's Zero on a whiteboard and then made the S into a dollar sign.
Made the S into a dollar sign.
And then turned around and gave them a thumbs up, right?
Yeah.
And they were like,
And they were like, "You're hired."
cut him a check. Cut him a check right now.
Next, Mistfall Hunter, Huber, Viking Souls.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Whoa.
This actually looks sick. These
Yeah.
are good enemy designs.
yeah, good enemy designs. But I think the other thing that really was sticking out to us is just like how many different weapons and stuff that there were there. Like it feels like you have a lot of room to explore different styles. So like we had Isla's twin daggers in there. We had big heavy maces and hammers in there. We had some magic going on. We had bows. So like it feels like something a little bit for everyone.
Yeah.
Did have our big horn beasts.
Yeah.
Year of the Horn Beasts.
Cool designs.
But this is coming from Bell Ring Games, which I'm not familiar with, but it says it's coming out of Hong Kong. Also Extraction Looter. How are they mixing Souls with Extraction stuff?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That is the thing I don't know. Parties
really
of up
cool.
to 3 players will venture into the mist to battle monsters and rival teams for gear in the hopes of becoming powerful enough to restore life to the world.
It's a really, really exciting premise that I can get behind. Like you have your Souls style combat, but with teams fighting other teams. So it's like PvP and PvE, everything going on at once. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I wonder how big the maps are. Like how often do you encounter
right.
the other team?
A mysterious girl channels a supernatural power and seeks out dead heroes and grants them immortal flesh to battle the blighted creatures. So you're being brought back from the dead
Cool.
to fight for this girl.
It looks really promising, and I really like the idea.
Yeah, like the combat has looked really good so far.
That laser beam shot or the magic beam kind of was like just like firing it, and enemies just kind of like just standing there like.
Some knockback and stuff going on.
Shout out to the Magic and Dragons Dogma
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
2.
Here's the extract part. To successfully escape from the ruins, players need to locate a rare monster called Returner Woodling. Defeating it grants an item called Soul of Return, and with that, you can create a path home.
So, do you have to fight this guy every single match?
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the thing that you have to fight.
Okay.
Or maybe it's not necessarily one monster, but like different bosses
Couple
that you have to
varieties.
defeat.
Yeah, I would hope so.
To be able to
It's like
get out.
the things like the Guardians of the Erd Tree, variants of them, like that.
Yep. Even this too reminds me of Elden Ring. The like strand.
Yeah,
thing.
the yellow strands and stuff. Yep. But it seems promising.
Yeah.
They're trying something different at
cool
least.
genre mashup.
Wheel World, which was previously known as Ghost Bike, which Isla had some insight on why they probably changed that name.
Yeah, I think. I mean, this is completely speculative, and like I don't necessarily know if there was a problem with calling it Ghost Bike before, but if you didn't know, in like at least in Chicago this was the case, but I think it's true in other cities too. A ghost bike is where a bicyclist, if they die in an accident, they take their bike, paint it white, and chain it where they died. So like, because I biked everywhere in Chicago, so like as a biker, you see it and you kind of like know to watch out, like be careful, maybe it's a dangerous intersection or something, and also kind of just like honoring that person, even if you didn't know who it was. That's a ghost bike. So I don't know, maybe they changed it because of that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see if there's anything in there that says anything about that, but right now we'll roll a trailer. This is from Messhoff, who are actually the guys behind Nidhogg.
Yeah.
And it's
They're great.
early
Ghost
next year.
Companion, I see. Okay.
What's happening here?
1-1.
I was like, I thought he was like saying in reaction to me saying there's a Ghost Companion. I'm like, well, what did I say wrong?
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting because they're talking, because again, like Nidhogg was a very simple like one-on-one game.
Yeah.
And they're talking about here, it's like, it's a lot of firsts for us. It's our first 3D game. It's our first game in Unity. It's our first game using a physics library. Our first game with a big team. First game funded by a publisher. First game with a real narrative, with characters and dialogue boxes even.
Nice. You know, it reminds me of Ollie Ollie World a little bit.
Oh, yeah,
Just the aesthetic a little bit, the vibes.
Yeah, you're right. And during the bike frame part, was there a human body?
There did appear to be, a mannequin
Right, a
or
human?
something.
Okay. I was like, it was so quick. I was like, oh, okay. Like saw a hot dog and then saw a
Yeah, the
human
hot
body.
dog's cool. I'd rock that hot dog bike.
Okay, Isla, I do have the story about the name.
Red Sky posted something in chat.
Yeah,
too.
so it was a game about dying on a bike after being hit by a car and ending up in a cycling Valhalla. While it wasn't directly based on real-world ghost bikes, there was enough overlap to feel like the name was justified and the associations would be a positive one from both directions. But as things changed in the gameplay to make it more fun to play, and thus the story, especially in tone, it fit less and less.
Okay, yeah. So they knew what it was, and they just changed it because it fit less. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, like,
Yeah,
again,
Wheel
like,
World.
I don't think, like, I don't think people would take umbrage with it, really. Like, it's not, like, a sacred term or anything. But, like, I guess if you called it Ghost Bike and you were, like, making fun of it, that would be bad. But, like, it didn't seem like they were. So it just makes sense that they changed the tone and it didn't fit anymore. That makes,
Yeah. And then they talk about, like, finding different people to challenge out in the world, finding rare parts to upgrade your bike, which we saw a lot of crazy upgrades in the trailer.
Yeah.
And recover your stolen legendary parts to ultimately perform the Great Shift Ritual and save the world.
Whoa.
Wow.
High
Okay.
stakes. All right.
So, but yeah, I mean, it looks really cool so far. So
Yeah.
see how it comes out. Next up, Isla, you've been waiting for this.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Phasmophobia console announcement coming to still in early access, but coming to consoles on the 29th.
Still in early access. Shit. I
Yeah.
thought this was 1.0.
Not quite.
Got it.
I think it's... Yeah, I don't know if the main game is actually even out of early access yet, but definitely the console version will be in early access when it comes out, yeah. Phasmo, dude, it's sick.
Phasmo.
If you've never played, Phasmo is a multiplayer four-player co-op online paranormal investigation game, and you start out with like pretty rinky-dink items. You know, they don't work super well. The thermometer takes, it's like an old like you ripped it off the wall at your grandma's house, and you have to hold it. and like the temperature goes down really slowly, so it's not really accurate. And then as you earn money and get more stuff, you can get better gear, and like, yeah, it becomes more and more, like you become more and more effective. But it is really, really fun. It's a high learning curve. It's like complicated to get started.
Right.
And the controls are probably I don't know how it's going to translate to controller, but like, it feels it works on PC, but
There'll
there's
be
like
some
a lot
kind
of
item wheel or something.
door opening physics and stuff. But like, yeah, I'm really excited for this to get into more players' hands, especially with crossplay, because like that'll be really important, I think, because they have a big install base.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
If it's got that, I don't know. Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. Next up, one that I'm less sure of, but definitely interesting, definitely stands out, is The Legend of Babu, which is about you and this dog.
Midwest Games.
Coming from Midwest Games in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
The dog.
Oh, hey! A fellow Wisconsinite.
Nice. The dog
I'm so
is
sorry.
one of the cutest creatures I've ever seen.
Yeah,
in
it's
a game,
cute.
ever. The combat looked a little splashy in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to get my hands on it.
The dog is big enough to ride for listeners, if you haven't caught that. Also, it says inspired by fables and Turkish culture.
Oh, cool.
So interesting to see, how that plays out. And then, adventure of a boy and his dog who must harness the strength of their bond. Huber. Confront evil and save the ones they love most.
Does the dog die for the website for the movies? Does that also
Yes,
do
it does
games?
it for games
Great,
too.
Great,
yes.
great.
Also, I saw the yellow paint. Thumbs up. Haters hate. Whatever.
Yeah.
You're pro the yellow paint. I like the white
There should be an
cloth.
option to turn it on off, but
Silent Hill
like
2, I like
Silent
the
Hill
best.
2, white cloth.
White cloth
Yeah.
and like flickering lights, kind of too. There's some parts where it's like comes
Yeah,
to life.
yeah.
It looks like you can
Huh.
control both of them.
A Turkish person in chat is pleased to see Turkish representation in games.
Heck
Nice.
yeah. It's awesome.
They talk about Babu's super barking ability
super barking.
Sick.
to fight
Oh, his
fight against
face.
demonic
So
invaders.
adorable.
His little
Wait,
Its face is amazing.
May 2025 be the year to the dog, though.
Yeah.
Super dogs, because they saw Crypto is going to be in James Gunn's Superman too.
Super dog.
They have, the super dogs are coming. Here we go.
Remember Balto?
Heck yeah.
Balto.
Or Bolt.
Bolt.
Bull.
Here's the secret. Here's the secret weapon. Customize Babu with various outfits and ornaments earned
So-
throughout your journey.
Okay.
That was the
With
God of
outfits.
War paint then.
I noticed
You
the
had me in
earrings
the first
sometimes,
half.
Yeah.
In the first half about customize, I was like, what do they mean? Oh, superficial. It's like, all right.
Oh, you can.
I mean, I guess if you could pick like your fur, like, I don't know, breed or something, as long as it stayed the same, like, relative, like, size, so it wouldn't be a programming nightmare. Because I know in a Stray, there were some people who wish they could have picked, like, different cat breed for the cat, but
right.
this is a little bit more fantastical, where it's like, I don't think you're going to mind. I think
Damiani,
cosmetics are fine.
What's your opinion on people who dye the hair of their dogs? Like dye it a color?
I don't know enough about whether it's harmful. I've never even considered it, and I don't know if it's like
I think it's usually
harmful or
temporary
not.
for like Halloween or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like that. It's
like a
probably
spray
not that
or
different
something.
from just going to the groomers.
I would say as long as like vets aren't like say there's any problem with it, and they're not like your dog or cat's not showing any kind of behavioral issues with it, like they're not like upset and angry, but like I generally am like, my personal opinion is like, you just don't put anything on I don't put anything on my cats because like they don't really want anything on it, and it's like,
my God.
why?
Well, I googled it. If you use human hair dye on your dog, it is very, very bad for them.
Oh,
Whoa.
yeah, I
It
would do
causes
that.
irreparable damage to the immune system. Oh my
Jeez.
God.
Yeah, that's why like I don't know, like that's why I'm saying like I'm hesitant to say anything, because like I feel like in the past I've heard stuff about like even putting like clothing items on like dogs and cats is like sometimes can be like cause issues with them. So maybe it's material related. I don't know. I personally want to just do it. It's like
they have safe ones for animals. Just if you're gonna do it, I didn't mean to derail us, but if you're gonna do it, make sure you're using pet safe dye.
As long as you're consulting a vet, and they're saying it's okay, then fine. Don't just do it randomly.
Ooh, can you use dog dye on a human? That's interesting.
Maybe not, but anyways.
No, you should not. It could be toxic or cause serious harm. Oh no, wait, that's the AI answer.
Yeah, don't
Fucking
listen to
AI.
that AI. Don't listen to that AI. It also says that defeating bosses will get you special attacks and stuff. So Mega Man style.
Great.
Nice.
Great.
Next up is Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers, which I had honestly forgotten everything about this game other than the name
It
beforehand.
also looks great.
But yeah, it's looking really, really nice.
Yeah.
It's set in the late Ming Dynasty.
Cool.
But
bodies.
also, obviously, very fantasy version of that because there's
very
giant
dark.
centipede monsters and all of that stuff.
So intense. Giant enemy crabs.
The fox woman, remember that? The boss that was turning into a fox to kind of teleport around the arena and stuff.
Fox die.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that
I
was
was going to say Venom Web, or Butterfly. What was it? What was the one in Sekiro? What is the
Lady Butterfly.
Lady Butterfly? Thank you.
Yeah. Do this.
Yeah.
This.
I want a boss fight like that again.
Hell yeah. This. Gabby just beat that lady.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
that's all. Gabby's fucking super good at
Pro Gabby. Hell yeah.
Sekiro, dude.
We're on a hot streak with these games right now.
yeah.
Liza
Whoa.
P, Stellar Blade, Wukong.
Yep.
We are in a renaissance, a golden age of these types of games right now. So will this continue the trend?
Yeah,
I think so. It looks sweet.
it looks really solid so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And has
Wait
a
a
lot of those
sec-
kind of
wait, what?
freaky vibes and stuff. What was
That's
that? A giant
insane.
oyster or something that you were fighting?
That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, it goes places.
And then there, you see that you also have some kind of astral wings or something that pop out. But yeah, the spells, everything. There's a lot.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the side that the wings come out of, it looks like she's injured or
Right.
something. Like her arms all bandaged up.
Fucking sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah. There's that centipede.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What's her
A
name from
menace.
Dark Souls?
Right. Quelaag.
Quelaag, yeah.
Ugh.
Oh.
I've brought shame to myself that you remembered her name and I didn't.
Turn in your gun and badge, Isla.
Yeah.
Speaking of gun and badge,
Oh, boy.
we wrapped it up back to Remedy, and we were like, wait a minute,
Weird.
what's happening?
This is
Weird.
I'm super into it,
Of
but the
course.
vibes are so weird.
What is this?
Mostly just the VO and the music choices.
yeah.
It feels like a completely different tone.
Damiani, this is
Is this their multiplayer game?
Yeah.
multiplayer
Oh. Oh, it's co-op.
It's co-op, and
FBC
But it's in control.
Firebreak.
Yeah.
and you're cleaning up the facility.
The cleanup crew.
Yeah.
It's like Men in Black. It's like we're gonna need a cleanup crew here to
It's so-
3 block radius.
And it looks fast paced. I mean, Control can be pretty slow going through. You're exploring. You're reading 45,000 documents. You're
What is this liquid gun?
And this just seems like nonstop breakneck
Dude,
action.
yeah.
You know what would be sick in this is if they got Jesse Faden's voice actor and at the beginning of the missions or something.
She, gives
she's
you-
just hey, we need cleanup down on this area.
Yeah.
Go for it. And so then your guys are just sure thing, boss. And
Yeah.
then- and she's
Hey,
like,
Jesse wants us to clean this out.
Yeah.
It's epic.
The director says we got to go down to the foundation.
The quote on this is
All
very
right.
interesting from Xbox Wire.
Well, Auties, yeah, that'd be funny too.
We're actively avoiding coming even close to feeling like either of those things, talking about a sequel or a spin-off.
Yeah.
I guess you could say that it's a spin-off, but in the most positive sense of the word, it's not designed to be some kind of lesser, bite-sized Control. FEC Firebreak is its own fully formed thing.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good approach.
Um,
I want things to be lesser.
yeah. 3-player, first person.
In Remedy, I trust. So,
Oh, yeah.
Forever. They would
No,
have to
this looks
release
like fun.
9 bad games in a row.
Oh, a picture of Jesse was in that last shot, actually.
They say it's their first multiplayer game ever.
What about that?
Yeah, wait, didn't they do Crossfire?
That was a single player game.
Oh, right.
Crossfire is a multiplayer
They
game,
did
but they
the
did a single player game.
portion.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Right.
Cool. You'll get caught up in the
Crossfire.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what else. You'll take on the roles of fearless first responders
Hell
in
yeah.
the Federal Bureau of Control, sent to fend off paranatural threats in the dark heart of its shifting eldritch headquarters.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of familiar environments. We see like the DLC,
Yeah,
like the quarry or whatever.
Yeah,
Right?
Black Rock Quarry right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Sign me up. I would never have guessed that this would be a thing.
What I can say is that the Firebreak crew has been cleared to carry paranatural augments,
Ooh.
which are altered items engineered into tool attachments,
Wow.
like the garden gnome that you saw in the trailer. These are more or less our take on ultimates and are not to be taken lightly. I like to think of them as a jaguar in a box. You carry the box, you point it at something, you open the box, and you just kind of hope the jaguar doesn't turn around and eat you or your friends instead.
So sweet.
That would be kind of funny if you use your alt wrong. It like kills half your team or something.
Do we
Yeah.
know if this is mission?
Yeah, they did say
based?
mission based.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Co-op missions.
Co-op missions. Got it.
Yeah.
I like the one guy's weapon that's like a battering ram, but you can use it to like rocket jump upward,
So
basically.
Yeah, that's cool.
I
Like
can't
he
wait.
like points it at the ground and shoots, and it like shoots him up.
Can't wait. Cannot wait.
Says it's a mean, lean dev team going fast.
Love it. Obsessed with it.
What a way to describe
That's
that.
so cool.
Oh yeah, there's that jump.
Going fast.
When does this come out? Do we know anything?
Next.
I think they said in their 2025. I don't know if they got any more specific than that.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
like lean, mean dev teams. I think you can be more creative and efficient that way and just like follow the vision. You know, when you get too many cooks in there sometimes,
Yeah.
Ubisoft,
Got him. You
Got him.
got their ass.
Follow the vision.
got him, drag him.
Nice. There's a lot more in that Xbox Wire story.
Sick.
But for now, we're going to move on to a game that was not at Xbox, but was announced this past week, which I get all these emails every day, got lots of new game pitches, and like this one like stuck out to me a little bit because, first of all, it's from Dreamhaven,
Yes.
and that is Mike Morheim's new outfit, who is one of Blizzard's founders. And I just read that whole history of Blizzard from Jason Schreier.
Yep. So you're dialed in.
I'm dialed in.
Oh, yeah.
Dialed in.
Curious what this guy's going to be doing next. And yeah, this is like one of their first games. And this is called Sunderfolk. And they put together this trailer that was very dev focused. So there's like a lot of people here, but it's also like, it's almost like in a good way, like some of the old Wii trailers where it's like, there's just like a lot of people in the room playing the game kind of shots. Because the way that this works is you have like your game board on the TV, whether you're playing on PC or console, but then you also have stuff that you do on your phones. So you have like your equipment and your loadouts, and you talk to your merchants and all that stuff on your phones. And it's made to have like kind of like game night kind of vibe.
So fun.
Bring everybody
Yeah,
over
I'm-
and play
That is
together.
I am
Fun.
a big supporter of this idea. Like, as someone
Yeah.
who plays a lot of tabletop games and like has, like gets friends over to play Mothership or whatever, like this seems really nice. And I loved Armello.
Yeah.
And like literally no human being on the planet Earth ever played Armello with me. And so like this will be sick.
I'll play Armello with you.
We're gonna play Sunderfolk now, baby.
Yeah, we are. This looks great.
But they talked about really streamlining it so that
Will Blood's phone play this? Oh,
Oh,
you
yeah.
got the new phone. You got a new phone.
yeah, well,
Will
there's the Berserker
Huber-
humor.
Berserker hype.
Dude,
Bear
polar
the
bear,
hammer.
Let's go.
He's a polar
Let's
bear,
go
dude.
polar
you
bears.
skipped that part.
Spin and win.
You just said bear.
I posted a screenshot.
So sick.
Yeah, we don't look at the shit you post.
So cool.
But yeah, so because of that game night vibe.
The game night vibe alone, Blood, makes everything. makes this game everything for me.
Yeah.
I was ready to just kind of be like, okay, like I'll check it out. You know, who knows if I'm gonna commit, but the game night element, I think, makes it something special.
They really were
Strategy
talking about
RPG.
wanting to have that fun of playing together, of being able to bring in people without having to teach them 100 different rules.
Yeah.
And study the whole D&D handbook and all of that.
Yeah.
It's like you can just hop in and
great.
start playing this.
Plus,
and
it's got like
understanding
Redwall / Bloomborough vibes, and I'm super into that.
Yeah, like
it's
every
so
class is a
cozy.
different animal. Yeah.
Is it co-op? Is everyone on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same team, right?
Yeah, you're all
Okay.
playing. You're playing
Yeah.
together. You're going through this adventure together,
Obsessed with it. Love
Huh.
it.
like a tabletop
Oh yeah,
RPG.
we're gonna stream the shit out of this.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
fantastic.
I really want to stream it. Yeah, and see
Markets
like the
and
food
shops
and
and
stuff.
Clothiers, dude.
economy.
And each player can go to a different shop.
Yeah,
or
there
do
was
we-
Yeah.
share
different
money
ones.
though. I don't like that.
Wait, it is shared money?
No, I
I don't know.
I doubt it,
I was gonna say that's gonna cause a lot of
Skill
fighting
tree.
Mario Party levels of fighting.
dude. Why am I like so jazzed for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good. Also, they waited long enough for like the art styles to really
Yeah.
pop. It looks very solid already.
Side missions.
Yeah.
It does give me Gloomhaven vibes as well. I was just thinking that, Jethro.
The 6 roles that they spelled out: Arcanist, Bard,
Sick.
Berserker, Pyromancer, Ranger,
Nice.
and Rogue.
Sweet.
Perfect. Perfect.
I just get weirded out when there's Bard and Ranger. I guess most games treat Bard as like a buff class. don't
Yeah,
they?
heal,
Yeah.
debuff.
Yeah.
Ranger,
Whereas the
Ranger
Ranger
is
is
like
the
range
range
DPS.
range DPS filth. Yeah.
You'll be happy to know that Bard is really powerful in Baldur's Gate 3, Damian.
Bard hype.
Nice.
Sing your songs.
But yeah, I wanted to bring that one up because it stood out to me. Like I like where they're going with it, and I want to play it.
Is it still like early days, or do we have any?
I don't. Let me see if they said when it's coming out. I think
I can look
next
into
year
it
for
if you
sure.
want, yeah.
2025 PC and
Okay.
console simultaneous.
Oh, nice.
So, including Switch.
Huh.
What?
Yep.
Switch 2. Oh my
Switch
god.
Yeah, they can't say Switch 2 yet. It's
Holy
clear. It's-
shit.
Yeah.
Look at this Arcanist. The
Whoa.
Arcanist.
There it is.
Oh.
It's like, for listeners, it's like a raven with little reading glasses and a book, dude.
And a cloak, purple
The
cloak.
Bard is a bat.
The bat is amazing. Yeah. Pyromancer's
Oh
a salamander.
my god. Oh, the Ranger looks
Ranger's
so
a goat.
cool. I'm getting like
And the rogue is a
emotional.
weasel.
I'm
awesome.
so into this. Oh,
The art is so good.
yeah, it's really good.
Sick.
Anyway,
Sunderfolk.
In.
Yeah.
yeah, all in.
Yeah,
We're a
you need
Sunderfolk
like a
channel
4-hour
now.
stream for that day.
I am in.
Next up,
Yes.
it's time for the August sales report.
All right.
The schedule a little crazy.
Kart, Damiani,
But,
right
All
off
right,
the
let's,
top.
Let's
right
do
up.
it.
Let's go.
do it because we got a back-to-back one. So if it's not on this one, there's still a little slither of hope that it could be in the next one. Since it's September's hot on the heels of this one. So Bloodworth, where's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on that list?
14th.
Wait, is that better or worse than last month?
Last month it was 12th.
Okay,
It's
so it's going
slipping.
backwards. Okay, it's slipping.
slipping.
All right.
It's slipping.
He's getting off at 20 though, but so 14 is still a little too good for me.
Before we get to the rest of the top 20, this is from Matt Piscatella of Circana. As we said, the September report is coming on like October 23rd. So like right around the corner. Just scheduling on this. You can ask him if you want to know why it's scheduled this way. There's reasons.
Not
Overall,
for reasons unknown.
U.S. spending fell 7% in August versus
We
a
hope they
year
don't
ago.
say on it speaking.
Total spend was $4.1 billion.
With a B.
5% increase in mobile, but other areas dropped. Year to date is still currently 1% higher than this point last year. Monopoly Go, still on top of mobile.
Still playing that, Gabby?
No.
Got it.
Hardware spending dropped 36% compared to last August. Switch fell 41%. And then, yeah, let's get into this top 20 before we talk about the other stuff. So, should probably know what's on top of August. What's the number one game?
August was like 8 months
I
ago.
know. For real.
Yes, but this
college
is-
football.
You're getting close.
NBA
Madden?
2K.
Madden.
Ah.
For the 20
Professional
Yep,
football.
Yep,
for the
yep.
25th consecutive year. Wow. Number 1 in its
Jeez.
debut month.
That and Call of Duty, right? What finally dethroned Call of Duty that one year? What was it? What was that?
Oh, was it Elden Ring or something? I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe something. Yeah. But yeah, 25. That's just. That is wild.
Yeah. We've got
That is
3
just
other
wild.
games that are brand new. You should know 2 of them. You probably won't guess the third one.
Is Madden, dude? I'm just blown away by that number. That is a staggering statistic. Every year.
Yeah. 25 years in a row.
God. Other games on the list. College football, I said. What was that?
Yeah, college football is still at second place.
Second place.
It was first last.
So football's 1 and 2.
Also, college football is still number 1 game of the year in terms of sales.
Yamamoto has 5 strikeouts. MLB The Show. Keep it with the sports.
Not new.
Not new, but gotta be on
Oh,
the
you're
list.
asking for what's
It's on
new
17th.
17, okay.
for August.
We had a big one.
Yeah.
Was considered disappointing.
Oh
Hellblade 2.
no. Outlaws. Star
There it
Wars.
is.
That's one.
Outlaws.
Third
Yeah.
place. Star Wars Outlaws.
Third place.
Ubisoft.
Dude, I love that game. That game was so good. And then give Ubisoft a couple months by now, dude. Patch that thing up.
Yeah.
Probably running like a dream now.
We got another one in there from a franchise we haven't seen for a while.
For a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
At least not a new game.
Oh, I feel like.
This is 1,000 years ago, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know
I feel like-
the order of the months, Blood.
Yeah.
I remember. I don't know.
Does it go
Anyway.
August, September,
Japanese.
October? Yakuza.
Oh.
No.
No, not Yakuza.
Seen in a while.
Yeah.
It's not Dragon Ball.
We were just talking
Like
about
15 years since it had a new entry.
King of Fighters.
No.
Oh.
It's not even out yet.
Give us a hint.
It's an RPG.
It is an RPG.
I mean, that's not hard to guess when you said Japanese, but.
Dragon's
Damn
Quest.
No,
Dragon...
that's next month.
Oh,
Mana.
Oh,
There you go.
There you
Visions
go.
of Mana.
Yeah,
That's
thank
number
you.
4?
I kept thinking.
No,
like,
came in at 10th.
like,
Okay.
I was like, Saga was in my head, and I was like, but that's not out yet because we just
Yeah.
talked about Saga, and I was like, oh, no, not
Yeah.
Saga.
And then the other brand new one, which no one would have guessed, 11th place, Gundam Breaker 4.
Gundam Breaker 4 sick.
Yeah.
So offended. Calling us not real true Gundam fans here. Okay, bro.
I don't know anyone that's played 1 through 3. So
It actually starts with 4 blood. It's not a number. It's not the 4th entry. It's a reference to something in the anime. Come on, blood.
it's not. Anything else you're curious about?
We asked about Mario Kart. Any other Nintendo ones in there? I guess like first party Nintendo. Anything? Hold on. 'Cause
Ooh.
I
don't
'cause
know that
What was
there
in the
are.
previous? Because July. What
I
there's?
think there actually are no other Nintendo games, which is kind of
Because
surprising.
Paper Mario made it in, I thought, 1 month. It just dropped off then? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no other Nintendo games at all.
That's okay. So no other
Time
first
to
party
push the
Nintendo.
button.
And Mario Kart 8 is slipping.
Yes.
There we go.
Push the button.
Hit the alarmo.
Anything else you want to pick for? Any thoughts?
I got nothing, man.
All right.
I'm just so inundated with games right now. They're all just blending together, dude. It's a cataclysmic wave. I don't know.
All right, here's our top 20.
I don't know.
20th place, EA Sports FC 24.
Oh, that's almost out. Yeah.
19th, Gran Turismo 7, coming back up from 27th.
Why? I wonder why.
Number 18, Forza Horizon 5, coming up from 29th.
Was there like a racing sale or something?
Could have been.
I mean, those are competing platforms.
I know,
so,
but like,
yeah.
is there like some kind of like racing month I don't know about that? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Was there a big racing event? I don't know.
It was International Car Visibility Week.
17th was MLB. 16th, Sea of Thieves.
Nice.
Holding strong
Sick.
at 16.
All right.
Dude. Did you guys see the new season update? Fucking like a lot of it's all about sneaking and like being like little dirty like sneaky guys.
Okay.
So a bunch of like hiding stuff. If you're crouched, you can crouch and sneak walk, which makes you harder to detect and enemies notice you from less far away. And then you can crouch over the side of the ship, so you can like hide off the side of someone's ship.
Cool.
And you have a grapple hook gun that you can use anywhere.
Wild.
It
Very
looks
nice.
sick, and you can hide. You can hide inside of a treasure chest. Looks really good. Anyway, oh yeah, and traps.
Nice. 15th place, Ghost of Tsushima.
Nice.
Still doing good after that PC release.
Get it.
And that's before the Yote announcement,
Yeah,
right?
it
So
is.
it hasn't gotten the Yote bump yet.
All
Yeah.
right.
14th is Mario Kart. 13th, Helldivers 2. Still holding strong.
All right.
That patch was big.
12th, Elder Scrolls Online. I know they did have an expansion. That was probably around then. 11th was Gundam Breaker 4. 10th was Mana. 9th is Spider-Man 2. 8th is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
Of course.
7th, Minecraft. Still up there. Still up in the top. 6th is Hogwarts. 5th is Elden Ring. 4th is the EA Sports MVP bundle. That's Madden and football and college football.
College football.
And oh my god, that's insane. That is nuts.
So they've got 3 spots basically. 3rd is Star Wars. 2nd is college football. 1st is Madden. And then some little things I cherry picked off of the year to date. Like I said, college football is still the top selling game of the year.
How many copies?
I don't know how many copies.
Because Wukong said
it's
like
the-
20 million.
it's the
So
top.
it's like 30, 40
Yeah,
mil?
I think Wukong might not be reporting
Okay.
because it's not been on here. So and I think it should have shown up by now.
Yeah.
So that could be just like one of those holes that you get. But what I wanted to point out here, though, this is interesting because these are both seen as disappointments to the publishers. But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is still in 9th place for the year,
Nice.
and Suicide Squad is still in 15th place for the year.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad.
That's true, but also like
That's
without
so disappointing.
not knowing like the numbers and the dollar amounts that the game's generated, it's hard like
Yeah, it's like when a Marvel
Hard to
movie comes
really-
out and it's like, we
yeah.
need to make 700 million
like
to get
there
a
could be a
prize.
giant gap between like 1 and 2. Like yeah, so like 2 and below could be like, oh, they're like, even though it's the number 2 for the year, not saying this year is, but like the year hypothetically, it could have been like a terrible year sales wise for everything. So
Yeah, but I still think it
we
shows
lack
just, like-
context here. Yeah.
I still think it shows just like what the stakes that they're going for are. Is like, oh, it's like you can be the 9th best-selling game of the year, but you still didn't hit financial expectations.
They've got that.
But
Out of like
budget to
what
cover,
14,000 games
Yeah,
released on
that's-
Steam so far. You know,
budget.
yeah, you got to talk about like budget and
One of the best
like,
parts
yeah.
about Final Fantasy, the money.
But again, I'm not worried about Rebirth. It could have been in like 15th, but it's like 7 remake trilogy will be fine in the end.
Yeah.
Like it's whatever.
I just can't believe Suicide Squad, a not good game, is
Right.
15th. It's wild.
Yeah. Well, especially to me, like one of the things that like, you know, I'm kind of hard out on is just even the concept of it. Mm-hmm. Like I'm just not interested.
Yeah.
So like enough people were interested to at least buy it.
Yeah.
You know,
And a multiplayer game too, so you're like encouraging
Yeah,
your
yeah.
friends to get
that's
it.
part of it. Yeah, yeah. On the monthly active user side, so this is like tracking how much people are playing every day over the month. Mafia Definitive Edition
Oh,
popped
said the
up to
magic
7th place on Xbox from 458 because it went out on Game Pass.
That is the most wholesome news I've heard in a long time. I'm obsessed with that, dude. Yes. Everyone's getting ready. That's
Yeah.
so awesome.
And then on Steam, Deadlock hit first place.
God,
So,
Of course.
yeah.
I still gotta try that.
I've had it installed. I've had that and Counter-Strike 2 installed for like months, and I'm just like, afraid to open it. Just like don't want to lose all my
Yeah, it seems really
time.
intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. There it is. Like I said, we'll get September here in just a couple
Heck
weeks.
yeah. Dude, well done, Mafia. That is...
Yeah. Time to talk some games. First up, Huber. You've got a bunch, so we're going to bounce back and forth to you. Starting with first Berserker, Khazan, which Isla, you played at Gamescom too, right?
Yeah, Gamescom 2, the sequel.
So Huber, you got to play a closed beta.
Yeah, just a small little chunk, played for a little over an hour.
Okay.
And it was sick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This game rules.
Yeah, it was really good. Our boy Ben Hansen is in there.
You mean Ben Starr?
Ben Hansen, Ben Starr.
I was like, Ben Hansen, God
wish
damn
Ben
it.
It's like,
Ben Hansen is going to
whoa.
clip this.
I
I was
wish
like, get me in a game.
Ben
What the
Hansen
fuck?
needs to be in a game.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, help us beat Ben Hansen's smug ass in the
Yeah, we'll
Tribute
get to
Tower.
That, but yes.
So it is a Souls-like. When you get to like these little bonfires, you can pump up points, strength and all that. There's a fair amount of gear, but not too much. It wasn't too overwhelming, which I really
you don't want to
appreciated.
get the gear to. You don't want the gear to get in the way of the blood.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I always complain about the amount of loot in Neo.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
it is
you do.
too
Yes, you
much.
do.
Yeah, I all the time. Way less here. Every like 15, 20 enemies maybe. Finally, you would like get a piece, and you would feel those upgrades.
You really
too.
felt the gear and every time you leveled up.
Yeah.
I was actually really
Excellent.
more than like most games, I would say. I was
Well,
pretty
especially
impressed.
in a preview setting, it's hard
Yeah,
to get that.
yeah.
Yeah. Parry, watching your stamina, using your Estus flask, all the staples of that. But the
parry
story,
timing is really good,
yeah, I really love the parrying.
and I hate parrying.
Yeah, the parry's really good here. The environmental storytelling for this bear was really sick. Actually, this was a cool fight. I'm glad it's showing this. This optional area. This guy comes running out of a cave, and he's like, "Get it away from me!" Blah.
Nice.
And then you follow his blood trail into the cave, and there's this big hulking bear guarding a treasure chest. Just really cool. Hard-hitting, visceral combat, feels good, and the look of it, the like cel-shaded look, is really, really nice. But another thing that I loved, obviously with Ben Starr being an incredible voice actor, I was immediately invested in this story. Khazan, this character is like, it's like Gladiator vibes. Russell Crowe, freaking like Maximus, this legendary general for this faction, has just won all these huge battles, blah, blah, blah. And it starts out with him being imprisoned by his own country or whatever it is. I don't know the lore yet. But he's imprisoned. And even the people guarding him are like, wow, could he have really turned on us? Like, what? This doesn't make any sense. He's just like this legendary general. And then this like demon host like comes into your body and is like, yo, you're my new vessel, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, and then you escape and, start your bloody rampage. I don't really know what's going to happen next, but for a demo to capture my interest in the story so quickly, I was impressed, and I didn't see that coming.
Heck yeah. Some freaking moose boy over here that
Yeah.
they're fighting in the trailer.
Yeah. Got to the boss and died like 20 times, and since it was a demo, I was like, I'm good.
Right.
So
Yeah. No, that's fair.
yeah.
That's fair.
So pretty again, Souls-like games, it's gonna be a challenging one. For a demo, I like to Brandon Jones once in a while. Maybe you get stuck on a boss. It's like, all right, let me go level up like once or twice here.
Sure.
Come back to it, feel the upgrade. So yeah, intense.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely want to watch.
Lots and lots of blood.
Definitely want to put on your radar 100%. Put
Very
it on the
cool.
list.
Very cool.
Yes.
Next up, this last weekend I played Neva, which it's one of those games, man. It's so easy to recommend everybody just play this. Please just play this game.
Dodgers 3-1.
Nice.
Blood making a passion plea to play. Dodgers are winning, guys.
This is from Nomada Studio, the same team that did Grease.
Hell yeah.
And
Legendary game. I think it was on PS Plus last month or this month.
was it? Yeah, it was recently.
Yeah.
And so
Don't skip that one.
The art style is just absolutely phenomenal, and it's just really, for one reason it's easy to recommend to anybody is it's a 5-hour game,
Perfect.
like a little over 5 hours if you want to go back and hit the collectibles.
You love to hear it. Now, does that qualify, Blood, for your games in one night?
I think it could. I'm sort of on the fence as to like whether I recommend you do this in one day or spread it across two. I will say like there's like the word that like really came to mind with this game is potent.
Potent.
So like every like even every sub chapter of this like it fills you with like a lot of emotion.
Damn.
And just the visuals, just how striking everything is like when I defeated like the first boss, it was just like it made me feel so like I can't even like you're just in awe of like what just happened, right? And here too, like see like these hands and stuff coming out of the ground.
Dude.
And it's like this game is a horror game that I was not expecting. Cause like they were always like it's like, oh, you're gonna cry, it's gonna be a sad thing, da 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 da. And like I didn't feel like the sadness vibes that a lot of people were talking about so much as like I felt terrified in parts of this game. Cause basically you're this girl named Alba. Neva is the pup that you have alongside of you, and you're in this forest where this infection is taking over. And so you have these like creepy stringy arms coming out of the ground.
Creepy crawlers.
And then like eventually they start taking like this like body kind of shape, but sort of like in a Ghibli film or whatever, which they're very inspired by. Like it's sort of like it's physical, but it's also like very liquidy the way things move and animate and everything like that, and just sort of like has this sense that you're sort of fighting like this kind of blobby sort of creature. And the combat is fairly simple, but still I think to some degree demanding. It's like you've got just basically like a quick little like 3-swing combo, and then you'll need to like dodge through to the other side of characters and stuff. But one thing that I really, really like about it is that in multiple ways, like every little chapter and subchapter introduces something new. You get new visual palettes. You get new things happening in the world.
Great.
You get new types of enemies, new types of puzzles.
Yeah.
And it's seasonal based. So like when you start the first season, it's like summer, right?
Yeah. That's so important, Blood.
And then when you get to the next season, when then Neva's grown a little bit. So when you're first starting, you need to protect Neva from everything.
The protected becomes
like,
the protector.
The arms will grab her, and you'll have to beat off the arms and slash the arms. And you need to. There's basically an interact button for Neva. And so if you're at a distance, you'll actually call her name. And sometimes, so you have to like teach her how to like jump across gaps and things like that, or she'll get distracted. And you have to like get her attention and come with you. And then if you get close to her, then you push the button to like pet her or reassure her. Or like there's a point where like she kind of like doesn't quite make a jump, but you can pull her up.
Nice.
But then as Neva gets older, then she starts helping you in combat and becomes part of your combat repertoire. And then as it gets even larger, it becomes huge, and you actually like ride it through like the open plains and stuff in winter.
Artax!
And there's like, and then this is like an early part here in the caves where like you kind of panic because you get separated, and so like you can't do anything like as Neva's being chased through by these crazy creatures.
Awesome, Blood. Sign me up, man. Is this out?
Yeah, this is out now.
Dope.
And there's stuff that like just like even visually like I didn't even capture because like I had a certain point. It's like this is crazy, terrifying, very intense.
Well, I love that you said it always each chapter kind of gets so different because I played Saviorless this year, which is like kind of a similar genre, I would say, and just the environments just like looked so samey the whole way through. So there was no like it just everything kind of blended together then, where I feel like this, since each chapter looks and feels so different, like you're saying, that also helps the story, the impact of the story more.
Yeah, and it's interesting too with the seasonal thing because there are times when you will see some of the same locations in different seasons and see how they've changed. And so like areas at the very beginning where like Neva's stopping in a pool of water to drink or whatever, then when you get to fall, it's like, oh, that pool of water is like full of like black freaking tar and she can't just like
Black
no,
goo.
no. And same thing like rotten fruit and things like that. And there's just like a lot of stuff in there. And then you have these interesting puzzles with like these white ruins where like you kind of have to like shift them back and forth to kind of make a path and figure out how to go forward.
Sick.
Some of the downsides, I guess, in a way, like it can't like if you've been playing like a lot of like like bow and things like that, and you're used to like really fast.
Are we the only ones that played Bow Blood?
No, I don't think so. Oh, here's the first boss, and this sunset is just, or sunrise is just gorgeous.
That is gorgeous.
I'd say, but anyways, so you kind of have to adapt to her being a little on the slower side in terms of her swings. And then there are definitely moments when the scenes get very zoomed out,
and it's below,
and it's really like, again, like gorgeous, and it says so much with the art style, but at the same time it can make it a little bit hard to read like some of the details. So like you want to really play this game on like the biggest screen you can get your hands on.
Sick.
But yeah, like I said, I really like I think it's like really stand out, really step above. The animation is just phenomenal, and like this is like in fall and just like how different things look and crazy stuff that starts happening to the world.
Very excited, Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you never really know with a game like this, too. Obviously, it's, Greece is a hell of a pedigree there, 10 out of 10. But, we see the games like this sometimes that just immediately look like some deeply emotional game that we want to get into, and then sometimes, those emotions don't land and don't hit.
Yeah.
So
and
when you're saying that they do, it's like, all right, yes.
Yeah, there's some tricky platforming stuff here too, which I appreciate. It's like, this is like just an optional collectible. There's not like a whole lot that you get from the collectibles. It's just, it's sort of like, it's an extra challenge for you to, push yourself a little bit more.
Cool.
And then there's some other like, again, new things that they introduce the further you get into it, which is really
very
nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
Love it, Blood. Love it. I'm in.
Feels like a full, complete package.
I'm in.
Yeah.
100%.
We've got more to come, but if you've been enjoying the show so far, please take a second to like and subscribe and ring that bell on YouTube. It helps us, it helps you stay connected. And if you want to sponsor us, if you want to get your name right here in this space with Isla reading the things that you want her to read, get in touch. You can email us at info@easyallies.com. That's info@easyallies.com. And we will get you all the details on those sponsorships. Huber, back to you. RetroRealms.
Yeah, dude.
Ooh.
We found out about this a little bit ago. So did you play both now, or did you just play Halloween?
I finished Halloween, and I played a little bit of Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
So these both released side by side.
It's amazing.
Side-scrolling, kind of Splatterhouse-ish, would you say? Or no, more Streets of Rage? What do you think?
A little Splatterhousey, for sure. Like the originals, not like 3 has more of like a little exploration. Splatterhouse 3, love Splatterhouse 3. But the coolest thing first up.
Yeah.
What's up, Damian?
I know what you're about to say. Go ahead. I want to know about this. Go ahead.
The coolest thing is how these games are tied together.
Okay.
You open up the game, and you're first person in an abandoned arcade type area.
Nice.
There
So
we go, yeah.
the arcade machine for Halloween is right there, and the arcade machine for Ash vs. Evil Dead is right there. There's even like a little room to the side where you can watch developer interviews talking
cool,
about the
cool.
game. So cool. And then if you go through the back, each side of this hub area has there's a Halloween side and an Ash vs. Evil Dead side, and then you can use tickets that you find in the levels to unlock collectible stuff.
Oh, okay.
So
Nice.
to like look at, and it'll give you like, I wish it had a little more lore to it, but for example, you can like, you know, it'll be in like a big trophy case. It'll be like Michael Myers' knife or his coveralls. Yeah.
Perfect for Huber, man.
Yeah. So the premise is so cool. There's this overlord character with all these eyeballs over him, and he for the Halloween side, he's like, Michael Myers, you're one of the greatest killers of all time. I need you to kill. I need you to kill, and I will like suck up the energy of like you killing people.
Okay.
And then on the Ash vs. Evil Dead side, the Overlord wants the
Necronomicon?
Necronomicon. Yes! Trying to get that. It's so cool. He's like, with this, I can rule the world or whatever. So it really is faithful to the source material. Like, not in some huge, like, we got to follow lore canon, but like they're having a lot of fun with it, and you can tell that these devs love this shit.
Nice.
One of the videos you can watch in the
Candy corn equals money.
Yeah.
I love that sign.
One of the videos you can watch in the hub is like their favorite horror movies and stuff, and it's just like, you know, them talking about this is it's just so cool. So standard gameplay, you know, the levels can be a little longer than I thought they'd be, as in, because like it can get a little challenging. It can be a little unforgiving once in a while, but it isn't super, super hard, I promise. Like, you'll be able to get through this game relatively chill, but there are some challenging parts that push back a little bit, which I really appreciated. There's 10 levels on each side. You earn the money and you can upgrade your skills. You can upgrade your max health, your max energy. You can even unlock moves. Freaking Michael Myers unlocks like a decapitation style move. There it was right there, right on cue. There's some, you know, the levels with the follow the movie a little bit, you know, the Haddonfield and the sanitarium. So there's also phase shifting. So you shift to like this other reality, and that'll change the layout of the level. And hidden things, like in Michael Myers, in Halloween, you collect jack-o'-lanterns. It's like the special collectible. Some of those you'll need to shift back and forth to navigate the level to get to them. So just like pretty solid platforming all around, good combat, good lore and music, and just a really, really cool package all the way around. Like, this game's awesome. 8 out of 10, easy.
Nice.
Easiest 8 if I reviewed this game. I'd be like, 8.0 more, please. Let's go.
That's great because like we see a lot of games that are like this.
Yeah.
That, you know, it's like, oh, they look cool at a glance, but then they don't play very well.
Yeah, it plays nice.
So that's great.
Yeah. Another crazy thing. Halloween game, you know, you start or whatever, you can pick your character. You pick Michael Myers, right?
Right.
Game plays out. Dude, you can play this entire game as Ash.
Oh,
and the
really?
interaction,
Oh, right.
the interactions, it'll be the same layout and everything for the levels, so it's not like dramatically different. But each character has their own save file. You need to like progress for each character if you want to go through it. And the story, the story changes a little bit. The Overlord responds as it's Ash, not Michael Myers. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah, there's Lori and stuff. Just so cool. Cool game. I haven't tried Lore yet. I think they were like DLC characters. I wasn't really sure about what's going on there.
Okay.
But yeah, just very impressed. There's like 4 other arcade cabinets covered in cloth.
Yeah, they said they're going to be adding to it.
You know it. You know who I want. You know I want Jason Voorhees. Let's go. Let's go.
You know what's happening.
Yeah, you know, Leatherface is coming. Like this.
Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger. Yeah. This is the start of hopefully something very
Especially
special.
with
But
this
their own brand new games, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, the Ash vs. Evil Dead one, it plays the same. Different levels, but it does play the same. I was hoping it would be somehow...
But they're not like remakes or anything of old games?
No. Yeah, no.
Cool.
Yeah. I was hoping, you know, when I went over to the Ash vs. Evil Dead one, I was like, oh, is this going to be like a completely different type of game? But it has the same, you know, phase shifting mechanics.
Got it, yeah.
Same kind of collectible setup, same kind of shop at the end of a level to upgrade your character. So, you know, pretty samey, but the different environments and the way Ash plays a little differently is enough to kind of separate them. But I was hoping maybe for a little bit more variety there.
What I thought was funny with her is like she was picking up cans of Fab instead of Tab.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ash, if you hold charge, your charge attack is the boomstick.
nice.
So cool.
Nice.
So freaking cool. Good win for horror.
Yeah.
This is a win.
Yeah, it's good to have this out right now.
Yes. More, please. More.
Damiani.
Yo.
I had my eye on this for a couple of months, but Nikoderiko, I'm pleased to see is reviewing pretty well. And this is a like Donkey Kong Country style game. Actually has David Wise doing music. You've been playing a little bit. Let us know.
Oh.
Was saying imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. That should be the tagline for this game.
Please be good.
It is straight up just design wise is the Donkey Kong Country Returns, right down to like the bonus stage stuff, like doing even like the little jingle that sounds the same. The nice thing though is if you fail a bonus stage, you can retry it. You just have to get back to it and get into the secret barrel or the secret cave hole that you go through. I don't think they let you redo them in some of the other ones. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't remember you being able to redo that. Yeah, like when you finish a stage, mash the button to punch the barrel thing and like break it open. Like it is a little bit more than just a nod, I would feel like. And then it mixes in I guess the unique thing it's doing, but it's also borrowing straight up from Crash Bandicoot, is that at some points in certain levels, you start going up into the level or like towards the camera or away from the camera, and it just changes into Crash Bandicoot style of gameplay. So there's the side-scrolling parts that are just Donkey Kong Country Return style, and then at some point in a level, it'll change into Crash Bandicoot, and it's just basically the same thing. And it's the two mixture of that. There's secrets. They even have the Kong letters. It's Nico. The K is like literally. I was like for a second, I'm like, the K, I'm like, am I playing? Oh, yeah, I'm still playing Nikoderiko. I'm not playing Donkey Kong. It's like, you got me there a second. You got me. You have the animal friends. The best one is a lizard, which you can ride that swallows up enemies, can spit them out, and you can jump off of them and sacrifice them if you want to reach higher places. So they have a demonic, or not demonic, like a more much deranged version, I guess, of Yoshi. Like it's scarier, just like more intense than Yoshi. Looks like fearsome. And yeah, so it's definitely trying to mix those two vibes, and it's definitely borrowing a lot. I will have to say it's competent. I did hear you say that the reviews are pretty praising this. I have to say it's like almost there, but not quite there from my opinion, especially in terms of the way the platforming controls handle, it's like slightly off to me. Okay. It doesn't feel as smooth as Donkey Kong Country Returns or Tropical Freeze. And I don't know if that's
standard, of course.
I don't know if it's due to performance issues or if it's just that's how it is. It's just not going to like be as smooth. Also, like the moveset isn't as interesting to me because you have like a jump. You can jump and hit jump again, and you will hold out like a thing to glide. You have a slide ability, and then when you jump, you can slam the ground, basically. Oh, and you can pick up barrels and throw them. There's no run button. There's no like roll. It doesn't feel good to like. I can't like slide an enemy and then like chain that into like momentum. It feels like. So there's an example of like where there were like two enemies back to back, and I tried to slide through them, and like I slid through one. Went past the other, didn't hit it at all, and then I continued my movement and I got hit by it. I was like, but wait, I just went through it with the slide. Why didn't it like? So I'm alluding to there's some polish, definitely a lack of polish in this game. And I have the newest patch, so people are like, oh, the newest patch fixes it. Like I didn't play it before the patch, so like I have only played it with the patch, so I kind of dread to know how it was worse than this at some point. It's like, ooh, that's not good. And to transparency, playing this on Switch, the load time time is atrocious. Oh my God. I wanted to record a clip and like just bring it to show. Like I was waiting for like 27 seconds for a stage to load. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on here? And I think that's why I was thinking about like the performance issues. It might be tied to performance issues because at the start of a stage, it takes like a second for the characters to start running after they like drop in. I'm like, let's go, start moving. And it's like, okay, now they start moving. I don't know if there's like, I don't know what's going on there, if that's intentional, but yeah, there's enough of that where it just doesn't feel quite as smooth, doesn't feel quite as responsive.
Definitely
And
curious how much of that is like a Switch issue versus other platforms.
Same.
Yeah.
Very curious.
yeah, I am curious. I did take a cursory glance at like I think it was Game Facts. I Google search like control issues with Nikoderiko and performance issues, and a lot of them were referring to the patch and people saying like, oh, it seems fixed. Oh, the people are still saying no, the loading's still not great even after the patch.
Yeah.
So it's like
that probably won't be too much.
Seems like hit or miss with that. And control wise, yeah, I think at this point, it maybe just comes down to like preference. Maybe this is how people felt when they complained about, there were complaints from some people about Donkey Kong Country Returns Tropical Freeze that they felt the controls were stiff and not smooth. And I thought, like, to me, that was like insane. I was like, what? This feels perfect to me, or near perfect. Maybe those same people are playing this like, this feels good, and I'm like, nah, this doesn't feel. So again, it just could be my perspective. It just doesn't feel as smooth. Now, like, it doesn't mean to say it's a bad game. I still think this game, I only finished the first like world, like the whatever the stages are in the boss fight, like that like whatever the first like jungle world is. That's like, you know, what it's showing is showing promise. I didn't find a way to change characters. There's co-op. I obviously didn't try co-op, but there's two characters. Your mongooses, I guess, because they one of the shopkeepers called me a mongoose, so I guess we're a mongoose. And I didn't know if they had like different characters, like you see in the other Donkey Kong Country games where you have Donkey and Diddy, and they have their different moveset. I don't know if your companion. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the names for the two main characters. I don't know if they have a different moveset or not. So that's something, if it's not there, it's only in co-op. I kind of wish they had another playable character. That could be something to throw into the mix. So it's definitely missing that. It definitely feels like it's missing that extra thing. Okay, Nico and Luna. Okay, yeah. Thank you for that. But yeah, it's missing that as well. And honestly, I know one of the big attention grabbers is that David Wise is doing the soundtrack for that.
That was my question.
It sounds familiar, but like it's not really. It doesn't sound standout. It's like okay, like it does feel. Yeah, it's okay.
Scathing criticism from
And I feel like that's like the vibes of that. Like it's nice to have a game that's like trying to imitate Donkey Kong Country and throwing in some Crash Bandicoot. I'll say like the Crash Bandicoot parts, I don't like those were the worst parts for me in this game. I'm like, so they did something nice. I'll give them credit because I'm the first person to complain about this crap, and they actually did something about it. They put a little reticule under you when you're in those parts so you can see where you're gonna land when you jump. I'm like, okay, thank you for at least doing that. But it still doesn't feel fun. Those parts aren't that fun to me to play, even with that. So it's not that I'm like, oh man, these controls stink, so like I'm dying a lot, or I'm not. I feel like I can't tell I'm gonna land with my jump. That part's not really the issue with those parts. Just the objectives during those parts don't feel entirely fun to me. Side-scrolling stuff, there is some like neat things there. That's going on with the gameplay mechanics in terms of like the environment design and what you have to do to traverse it and get by. But it's like it's like not quite, doesn't have like the magic that you like. I felt like when I played like Donkey Kong Country Returns or Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Maybe that appears in the later worlds that they have some crazy stuff. But I'm thinking of like the early stages in both those two games. And I remember like the opening stage and is it Return to Tropical Freeze where you roll down, you go into the water and you start like this like you're swimming and it feels like so nice to swim and you like launch out and like, I don't know, like it just had like better vibes like from the get-go there. They do fully voice the lines and the delivery is like extremely slow. Like I'm sorry to like critique this, but I was like, okay, I appreciate you giving me voice work, but holy crap, like the dialogue is like the box is just sitting there and you're still like talking. Like I feel like I don't know if they edited it to be slower or something, but like it's trying to, I don't know, it feels weird and off to me. I'm like, doesn't feel natural. So
Unnatural.
it's like, I don't know. It's just like they're talking so slow. And I'm like, okay, finish. I was like, all right, I'm just going to advance the sentence now. Sorry. I know you did this voice work, but I'm ready to move on to the next line. It's okay. But yeah, like it's good. Like it's like, okay, like it's good. It's just, when you're trying to imitate something like Donkey Kong Country Returns or Tropical Freeze, those to me are near pinnacle platformer games, and this is not that. It is not that. So while on the like visually it looks so similar, it is an imitation. It is an imitation that doesn't quite reach those highs. But I mean, if you're looking for more, I mean, like it is still, like I said, it's good. Just don't expect it to be like earth shattering. Like, oh man, it's like the third entry that I never got. From what I played, it's not that. It's an imitation that is just,
Imitation crab meat.
Yeah, like comparing, California roll. You're getting the imitation one instead of paying the extra premium dollars for the real crab meat. There you go.
Nice. Huber.
Yo.
Now you've also been playing something that I've been curious about. I saw a preview way back earlier in the year.
Yeah.
We've seen it here and there. Made it our fizzle. Unknown 9 Awakening.
Yeah.
How is this now that you can really sink your teeth into it?
I kind of like it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, you really had us going in here.
I kind of like it. I still think it's going to be a fizzle. I'm worried about this game's success, honestly.
Well, fizzle isn't about popularity.
Yeah,
but
yeah. It's the look of everything to me is just generic. Like everything in this game just doesn't look cool.
Right.
Like nothing is like, I don't want to really like look at anything, but the story's got some emotions, it got its hooks in me. It's like this classic sci-fi weird fantasy stuff, humanity keeps like dying and restarting, and this unknown 9 is this group that destroyed humanity or something. You're looking for them. I don't know half of what's going on yet. I'm like 3 hours into this game. But I am invested in this overarching story, which I think is a huge deal. Something I was very critical about, just how they started throwing this whole universe at us.
Comics and books and everything.
Comics
and podcasts.
Books, just a million things. And it's like, part of me is like, don't you kind of have to earn that? But I mean, I'm finding myself interested in the story, and there's a revenge aspect as well, which I'm always a sucker for some epic revenge.
It does have a little bit of that like go find Blondie kind of vibe,
Yeah, and the look of the performance and the visuals are just okay. It really does feel like a game from 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. But I
definitely agree with it. There's something about the vibe. It's like this is a new game that sort of feels old for some reason. I can't put my finger on. Yeah.
But I find that endearing, I always root for these types of story-driven single-player games, like this like double A feel. It doesn't feel triple A; it feels double A. So I always root for that. The main mechanic obviously is hopping into people's bodies, which is really cool because all of a sudden you're playing with a new toolkit.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I got a shock mace with this guy, or oh, I got a gun. I can like shoot somebody. So that's really crazy. There's stealth, there's combat, and all of that stuff, the combat and the stealth elements are just normal, just average, good enough. Mm-hmm. The main gimmick is that body swapping, which is really interesting.
And are you finding more interesting uses than just like getting a guy next to some exploding barrels, or is there still a lot of that?
There's a lot of that. They try to mix it up with some puzzle elements of, hop into this body to smash this machine, which will then open the gate for you to get in.
Got it.
So there is a little bit of that stuff. but I'm just playing on normal. There's 4 difficulties, but I'm just playing on the normal one.
Yeah.
So that
Is there some good kind of setting up sort of a chain? So it's like, okay, if I get to just the right spot, then I take down this guy, and then everyone's cleared kind of at once.
Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should raise the difficulty, Bloodworth, because sometimes it is just easier to kind of just go in and mash it out.
Sure.
Punch some people. During those stealth sections, there'll be a lot of enemies, and you'll be with a companion, and you'll be like, stay out of sight. There's a lot of enemies, and it's like, I botched it. I get seen. 5 guys run at me, and I'm just like, all right, just punch them all out.
Right.
So there is some of that. But yeah, the world is cool because it's like this early 1900s, archaeological dig site vibe, just this old Indiana Jones, Last Crusade energy. I don't know. Yeah, it's just I do find myself connecting to this world in a way that I did not see happening.
Have you gotten to go a lot of places yet? Because they did talk about that kind of globe-trotting.
I've only been to 2 main areas so far.
Got it.
Yeah, so still a bit more to go, but you got Yennefer from Witcher in there, super cool. And
The actress. Yeah.
Yeah, I know this. It's gonna be one of those things now where I finish this game, I go read a comic or 2, I listen to a podcast, whatever the hell, and then they're like, all right, this universe is we're done. We're folding.
Right.
And it's just oh. But I'm invested.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Swimming.
Absolutely.
Comfortably swimming.
Also this week,
there's also a lot of cool collectibles. There's a lot of cool collectibles that dive into the lore,
right,
which I really appreciate it. You have a journal. I love a game with a journal. If your game has a journal that I can open up, amazing. Journal, scribblings and stuff, and a full skill tree as well, which is really cool because a lot of that stuff is hidden. So you find these hidden skill points, and then you can upgrade, combat stealth.
Yeah, they actually, that's one thing that we talked about even last week. There's it's exploration-based progression rather than it's not about killing a bunch of dudes.
Yes.
Find the things to upgrade your skill points, and then you get your skills.
I really love that, Bloodworth. I love great progression like that. Don't make me, because it's so many games fall into that trap. I always call out Wolfenstein for this. But you're not supposed to fight people. You're supposed to sneak through.
Yeah.
But then if those people are giving you XP, it's I want that XP. I'm gonna kill those guys. But so just being able to actually play the way you want to play while still leveling up, solid.
Also this week, we'll start off getting the bad stuff out of the way. We got a few layoff stories. Each one of them is kind of crazier in their own way. First up, not officially layoffs yet, but Don't Nod presented a reorganization project.
What is going on over there?
That could see layoffs of up to 69 employees. This follows up on weak sales of Jusant and Banishers, which we had talked about before. Mm-hmm. The union is pushing back hard, really
get them
strong rhetoric, saying they cannot tolerate the company rejecting the responsibilities of its own failures on its workers. They also call out tumultuous project management, claiming that Jusant's developers were left in the dark about their future, many without any work to do for over 2 months following the game's release.
What's going on, dude?
Yeah.
What is going on over
But I feel like that kind of, remember when they were talking about, this project and that project and this overseas studio and, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Right? We're it feels like they're taking on a bit too much.
100%. Check the tape. We were like, this is Telltale all over again. This is too many things.
Yeah. So
I imagine
I don't know how they're going to resolve the we're not making enough money and people don't want to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
But man.
Yeah.
Just places like this they take on too many things because they're just scared that if they pass it up, they will then have not enough. Seeing how many studios closing around them because they can't get projects approved.
I'm completely guessing. This is my only perception of this was that when they lost Life is Strange, they were so thirsty for a new IP. they wanted to get just their next big franchise, and I feel like nothing has hit. That's just my thought on it. They were just like throwing things out.
But did they lose Life is Strange, or did they like, okay, we've got our money from Life is Strange, let's try to do something else and not be tied to it? Or?
It's still convoluted. It's like they walked away, but also Square Enix. Also, whenever they talk about it, they're like, well, that's Square Enix's, throwing like subtle shade a little bit. So, I don't know.
Meanwhile, also not officially layoffs, Bandai Namco is allegedly doing the equivalent of layoffs in Japan. Western-style layoffs are illegal there, but people are saying that they've got around 200 employees just being put into empty rooms with no new assignments, basically until they get bored enough to decide to quit. Bandai Namco is denying the allegations, saying they're just between projects. But it comes on the heel of some canceled games, including some game that they were working on for Nintendo.
Got it.
So not 100% clear where the like full factual matter is, but definitely some stuff there going on.
What is the deal with that? Just like putting people in rooms
Because they can't actually lay them off, so they just basically force them to leave, essentially.
So you can't like fire anyone?
You could fire somebody, but you can't just like lay them off.
It's incredibly difficult, apparently. Okay. Yeah, I don't. I mean, this is just like.
But couldn't
secondhand knowledge?
Couldn't they just fire them? Why can't they just fire them?
Because there's not a reason to fire them. They haven't done anything disciplinary wrong.
It's hard in non-American countries. Yeah. It's a lot. Like Norway is like this too. Like you have to have like a damn good reason to get rid of somebody.
Yeah. So instead, they just torture them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing that people were saying, so I don't know if this is true, but like if the people will want to choose to resign, even though apparently they won't get severance if you resign,
right?
Is because if you actually are somehow fired there, it's like extremely difficult to ever get hired again anywhere because like of how incredibly difficult it is to get fired. So they don't want to risk, approaching that point. So if you're already put into one of these empty rooms, it's like you are very close to being fired. So you might as well just not risk it and get out of there, lose your severance, but at least you'll get another job. I mean, that's how it was explained to me. But yeah, it doesn't make it any less shitty. You know, it still sucks. And fuck.
It's wild. It's wild.
And then the clearest, but still ridiculous, of the bunch, Riot posted, quote, an update on how we're evolving League, which didn't say anything about how they're evolving League. They're just talking about plans for laying people off. But don't worry, because eventually they'll have more people working on League than there are now. They didn't specify how many, but employees were informed last week that they're getting laid off. But it definitely feels like one of those things where it's like, we will get rid of the people that have been here for 10 years, and then we will hire on cheaper contractors from somewhere else that we don't have to pay all the benefits and things to, probably, So, and that's on the back of them already doing layoffs earlier this year. So it's like another round of it.
Yeah.
Isla, what's this thing going on with Concord? What did you dig up?
Okay, so, PC Gamer.
Concord.
PC Gamer dug it up. As we all know, Concord was taken offline on September 6th, but over the past few weeks, starting September 30th and through October 10th, there have been like half a dozen or so updates to the game on Steam that were visible on SteamDB. And like most of them don't, like if you're not like a programmer, it's kind of nonsense, but a lot of them have words like playtest or PM test or Sony QAE, which could mean quality assurance stuff,
Mm-hmm.
There was also, they stopped from the 10th, but then yesterday, the 16th, they made a change to legal lines and added an epilepsy warning.
Weird.
But they also said that Helldivers God of War and God of War Ragnarok got similar updates to legal on that same day, so maybe Concord just got pulled into the crossfire on that one, but like all those other updates are interesting. So it's like they were just saying like, we don't know what this means, but does it mean that Concord is about to come back free to play or something? Like,
Yeah.
Interesting.
Fingers crossed. Sick game.
So it's interesting because, I mean, the PlayStation version just nuked. Like, nobody even owns
Nuked
that
from
game
orbit.
anymore. Yeah, like, you can't do anything with it. So what did they do on Steam like that? Like, I don't know. You can't just pull a Steam game off. Well, you actually, no, you can. I've had that happen with preview codes and stuff.
Yeah,
I'll get,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
the yellow box pop up.
Totally.
It's like, you no longer own this game anymore.
Yeah, it's gone.
But yeah, I don't know what happened exactly with Concord on that stuff.
Jeez.
But it's interesting that people can see the patch updates.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a breaking news thing a minute ago too. Do you see that?
the
on
Banjo
here?
Tooie coming to Switch Online on the 25th.
Yeah.
Nice.
Banjo Tooie just announced coming to Switch Online.
Nice.
Nice,
That's
nice. Yeah,
fun.
those tend to hit when we're recording. It's kind of funny.
It's funny.
There's very frequent timing on that. Huber, we got some new tiny little tidbits on the IO James Bond game.
Yes.
So they're doing an original story
Great.
starting with a young Bond,
Great.
and then they're also hoping that it will do well enough for them to be able to flesh it out with a full trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
So that came from an interview with IGN that's alongside the announcement that IO will also be publishing Mind's Eye, which is a game
Mind's Eye.
from former GTA lead Leslie Benzies.
Oh, the Benzies one.
Yeah.
This one looked weird, right? Wasn't this like
I don't remember all the details on Mind's Eye, but
FTP thing or Bitcoin something? There was something weird about this game.
I don't know if that's this one.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, but yeah, so they're going to be publishing that for him and working with him.
Got it. Mind's Eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was a different one.
Tron Catalyst was announced this week from Bithell Games, makers of Tron Identity and John Wick Hex. So while Identity was kind of more story-focused game, this one's still going to have some story as well, but it's more isometric action game. It's got both on-foot combat as well as some cool stuff with light cycles in there. And they mentioned something about a time loop mechanic, and I don't know how much of that is like a gameplay element and how much is like a story element, but
Crazy.
we'll be curious to see how it is. And then that is coming to PC and consoles next year. I just love that like there's like a lot of the disc throwing in there. So it's
Yeah.
like, toss your disc, let it ricochet around some guys, and then like kick them in the face. One thing that's tricky for me with Tron is that like the visual style of it has been copied so much that it makes it hard for like Tron to stand out. Do you feel like that too?
I do a little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Light
It's
cycles are
wild
still rad.
how prolific Tron is
Mm-hmm.
to me. I think the movie is like okay. You know?
Right.
But it had a huge impact at the time, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's like one of those things that they brought back later, and so like
Yeah,
now it's been like a
legacy.
few years since it's really been, and as there seems like they're gearing up again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Astrobot DLC out now, first level.
Cool.
They're doing speedrun levels, 5 different speedrun levels. The first one dropped today, and they're going to be doing them like once a week, and each level has 2 new special bots. So I don't know who was in today's.
Ooh.
I know we only saw the 2 at Stellar Blade and Helldivers were in
Yeah.
the trailer. I don't know
Yeah.
if those are today's or how they're spread out.
Very
but
sweet.
it'd be fun to discover those. Get back
E-type.
in there.
Yeah.
And then speaking of PlayStation, they announced PlayStation The Concert. They're doing a world tour concert series starting in Dublin on April 19th. It's going to include performances from God of War, Horizon, The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, and many more. We don't know exactly.
It's going to be a lot of chanting.
I do wonder, Hubert, do you think they should have thrown something else in there from like further back? Because it just feels like that is like current today PlayStation
Yeah.
If they had said Bloodborne, I'd buy a ticket.
Right.
Like, I want to see that live. I don't care about this stuff.
Yeah.
Good pick. Yep.
I mean, Last of Us is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God of War is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen those live.
Right.
So
Right. Currently, only European dates have been announced, but they say the tour's coming to more than 200 cities, which I'm like,
Wow.
I had to keep reading that because like that sounds like too many. That can't be right.
200 shows. Yeah.
But that's
a
what
lot
they
of shows.
said. So I'm like, okay.
200 in a year. I mean, that's
I don't know how long it's going.
there are roughly 10,000 cities on Earth.
Sure.
There
200
are?
is just a lot.
That's what Google said.
10,000. Doesn't seem like that many.
It doesn't sound like that many. This is major cities.
Oh, okay.
Over 1 million.
Okay.
Wait. 512 have a population over 1 million. And there are
She's getting lost. She's getting
there are
lost in the
31
numbers.
mega cities.
She's lost in the numbers. Okay. Next up, the EGM Compendium.
So sweet.
This is a very, very cool project.
Obsessed with this.
So there's a big hardcover book
Freaking sick.
that's gonna like
Delson Rowe, dude.
it's just something that they covered. But so they basically have like condensed like the whole history of the magazine into this big glossy hardcover gorgeous book. But on top of that, it's gonna have new features and stuff in there. They're gonna be like doing like the top 1,000 games or something crazy like that.
Awesome.
They're gonna have contributions from staff from throughout the years, and they're gonna be putting up a website where you can go through the whole history of the issues digitally. Huber, they put up the Kickstarter, like in just like a couple of hours, it was
$1 billion.
blasted out of the water. They hit the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
When I checked earlier today, it was at like 240,000.
Resident Evil 1.5. Nice.
Yeah, and StarCraft Ghost. They have like a whole bunch of stuff like that. There were like games that were in production in EGM, but canceled along the way. So.
Love. So much love.
Yeah. But yeah, they had 240,000 out of a $35,000 goal.
Wow.
And like they have most of the months left to go. So
Jeez.
Nice.
doing really well on that. So it'll be great to see this. They've expanded the size of the book. They've added in like a little ribbon bookmark. Yeah. So pins.
10 out of 10.
They got pins.
Hubert, Not Weirder in chat looked into the IO interactive thing that you were wondering about. The
Mind's Eye?
Bitcoin. Mind's
Yeah.
Eye thing? Where'd it go? About crypto. People speculated their previous game would have involved NFTs, but they said that wasn't the case. They had a hiring page years ago for blockchain developers, but it was just for research.
God.
They said.
Okay.
So no, I guess none of them.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Got it.
Thank you, chat.
Thank you, Google, for logging me out right there in the middle of a podcast. We'll get back there. Next up, there are 3 new studios from former Disco Elysium devs that were all announced at like Friday and like over the weekend and Monday, something like that. 2 of them were announced the same
Shout out
day.
to one of the coolest video games ever made, Disco Elysium.
Yeah, well, they're shouting it out. So that brings the number of studios to 5 now.
Wow.
So Longdew, which is the name of one of the studios, is very clearly stating that they are making a spiritual successor to Disco Elysium. Dark Math Games
Dark Math.
is working on Triple X Night Shift, which it describes as a true detective RPG
Ooh.
that creates different paths when solving cases.
Ooh.
And then Summer Eternal is headed up by writer Argo Tulik. And they say they're not working on a Disco Elysium follow-up, but it will be a narrative-led RPG. And then the other 2 that were before this, there's still Zaum is still out there. And Red Info, which was founded by the Disco Elysium leads.
Yeah, I was gonna say there are only like 3 like main like celebrity heads of the Disco Elysium team initially, right?
I don't know.
I
It's
don't
getting a little
remember.
much to follow.
It's all so confusing.
So yeah, we'll have to see if they announce that they all come out on the same release date.
I guess it's somebody in chat said it's the anniversary of Disco Elysium. That's maybe why they all announced.
Oh, funny. Okay, it is time for love and respect.
Love and respect.
Respect.
Crisp and clear that time, Rufus. Nice.
Oh, I was like, who's crisp and clear?
Yeah.
Brian
Glover
from Happy Gaming. They've got a story for us. Hello, allies. Exactly a year ago, I wrote in to talk about horror turnoffs. At the time, I had been playing Amnesia Rebirth and talked about how I was fed up with sections in horror games where you're being chased by invincible monsters. This year, one of the games I pulled out for my month-long spookathon was White Day, a labyrinth-named school. In it, you explore a creepy, ghost-filled school after dark, solve environmental puzzles and riddles, and collect neat ghost stories that tie into the school's history. It's got amazing vibes, with extremely well-designed environmental sound design, especially in the dark with headphones. Unfortunately, though, like my complaint from last year, you're also almost constantly being chased by a crazy, invincible janitor.
Gabby's heart out.
Who is extremely sensitive to your position. His seemingly supernatural sense of honing in on you makes trying to explore to find clues, puzzle pieces, or any form of progression a giant, time-consuming chore. Playing through White Day gave me a deeper realization into this frustration for me, though. It's not that I necessarily always find being chased frustrating or time-consuming. It's more of a frustration because in the cases that I dislike it, it's because it's at the detriment of all the other parts of horror I like so much. Slowly exploring creepy environments, soaking in atmosphere and story, maybe getting a little hello jump scare, as Huber likes to call it.
Hello.
To me, a chasing enemy, especially in the case of something like White Day, that's so exploration and puzzle focused, can oftentimes feel counterintuitive to the horror and design elements I'm really enjoying. I think about it like cooking ingredients. There are a lot of neat ideas you can use in a dish, but they don't always taste good when you pair them together. So, what are some of your favorite horror elements, and what are some that don't work with you? Are there times when you can think of when you found ideas especially working well together, or when certain combinations get in the way?
Horror elements.
Cook us a horror game, Huber.
I like shotguns in my horror game. No, I don't know. This is a tough question. Horror is like the main genre of game where I buy in the most. So I'm like never really annoyed by a horror game because I'm always trying to buy in to what they're selling.
I got one that you don't like. Blue rooms on a map.
What is blue?
The
Oh
map
yeah, all blue runs. You're so right.
But is that for horror games or just games in general?
Great question.
I don't
Games
know
where
many
you-
other games that do it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a very
Yeah.
specific thing.
I
Well-
think for Resident Evil and horror games specifically, because I don't want to be playing the map. I want to be playing the environment.
It's weird though because in Silent Hill 2, especially the remake, they like ground the map in James's reality so much
Yeah.
that like it feels like James wants to
Yeah.
be a completionist
Contextualizes.
and he's marking the map down for himself.
Totally.
Like that, it feels like it's part of the world.
But the good thing is too with that is they will like maybe circle an area that's important, but they won't tell you there's a lot of items in there.
Yeah.
You're not like, oh, I missed an ammo box. So yeah, I do like that. I don't know, because I like pursuer enemies. I like when there's not pursuer enemies. I like horror when you have guns. I like horror when you don't have guns. So it's tough.
I generally don't like pursuer enemies, but I do like an enemy that seems like a pursuer, but you can actually fight back.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Nemesis is an edge case in this because you can make him kneel.
Yeah.
But like Silent Hill 2, with like Abstract Daddy and stuff, like at first you're like, do I run? Do I fight? What do I do? Like there's a couple of things with Pyramid Head too where you're just like, is this one, do I fight him? Like what am I doing?
Yeah.
And then you like, do what you do. But like I enjoyed that. Yeah, it's all about like, I think like if you constantly have a pursuer, it gets really disheartening because it overrides all other tone.
Totally. And when you die, the stakes go away.
Yeah, because you're
tension,
just annoyed.
the fear. It's like, okay, I'm dead now. Like nothing can be worse than my character dying right here. Everything's fine. Like just restart it.
Its name is Abstract Daddy. Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, so finding a balance, of course, is so key. Resident Evil 2 is like the perfect balance, I feel like. Mr. X shows up every once in a while. I know later in the game he's a bit more of a presence, but even then, you get through that section.
Mr. X is like, in the 2 remake especially, is like pretty well implemented, I think, because like the sound design of him is
walking
also super,
around.
The footsteps, it keeps you the pressure on, but it's not always there, which is very, very, very important.
Love that.
Yeah,
I've played
around outside.
I've played a few horror visual novels actually, and I can't get into them as much.
Right.
So maybe horror visual novels. I think I'd rather.
Did you not like Doki Doki?
Yeah, not really. Wow. I know, crazy. I think I got parasited on that one, Isla. Maybe.
Yeah, you probably did.
Expecting the
myself.
twist. Yeah, so. Yeah, visual novels probably.
Ooh, Escort Quests are a good call, Zorgla.
Yeah.
Ashley works, but generally they're,
Yeah. Ashley was fun.
I like
Remedies
Ashley.
4. Yeah, it was good.
Nice.
I don't like when you have too much ammo and healing items. Keep it tight. Keep it tight in horror games, dude. Keep it freaking tight. Make me sweat.
Conversely, though, I also don't like dying too much.
Hey, you gotta find that balance.
There's to me, the perfect balance, like Silent Hill 2, just top of mind, but like it struck the perfect balance where like I died once in that entire game, but I was constantly stressed. Like even though when I had a whole bunch of stuff, I would then, moments later use all of it. So it's like it was just really well balanced, I thought. And like that I really like. Like I don't want to die at all, but I want to constantly be stressed.
Also, you gotta have some unlockables, unlockable difficulties, unlockable costumes, unlockable stuff in horror games, please.
Yeah, I mean, I think because we were talking about Neva earlier, and I was talking about how like terrifying it is, and like I think part of it there too kind of goes into what we were saying about like things mixing it up, and it's like you see some new freak coming out, and you're just like, they're doing what now? It's like I think that's part of it is like keeping up that level of surprise. Yeah, because it's like the game's not that punishing. Like if you die, like you generally are just like, you're in the same combat encounter, and the encounter just starts over. And it's not that bad, but it's like there's still that sense of like I don't want these freaks to get me. It's like I stay away from my dog. It's like it's
seriously.
Like, so yeah, I think it's interesting how you can create that sense of threat even if like the punishment isn't that necessarily harsh.
Yeah.
Let's play a game from Danky King.
Yo.
Bonjour, Alex.
Bonjour.
As we've noted before, with game announcements come word salad titles.
Yeah.
Just talking about that this morning. Very, very prescient of you because I copied this down last night.
Nice.
That's why it's time to play another round of Game That Name.
Game That Name.
Where I give you totally made up game titles and you have to tell me what kind of game you think they would be.
5-2 Dodgers.
So I'm going to name.
That's a baseball game.
You gotta make it.
I'm going to name a game. You're going to tell us what that game is.
Okay.
Heavens. Ashtray.
Wait.
Possessive?
Possessive. Yeah.
Possessive.
That's a hardcore neo-noir, baby. Hard-boiled detective story. Heaven's Ashtray?
Yeah.
Or
some rain
immersive sim. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an immersive sim detective story.
For sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The spiritual successor of LA Noire, but it actually has gameplay.
Love LA Noire.
Everybody does.
And a mysterious woman in a dress, right?
Oh, yeah, like 6.
Yeah.
But it all turns out to be the same woman wearing different dresses.
LA Noire is 23% too long.
To me,
Other than that, phenomenal game.
Yep.
to me, the fact that you go arson after homicide
Yeah.
is fucking insane.
It still bothers me.
Like I know it makes sense for his story, but
Yeah.
it's dumb. Arson
Yeah.
is obviously lamer than homicide.
Next up, Astral Objection.
This is an RTS.
Or a space lawyer game.
This be like a shmup.
That too.
Mm.
Okay.
I want to say this is an Eldritch Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, that was my
That's
first thought too.
Phenomenal. That's so
Or
good.
or it's like it's a god game, but you come in after, so it's like black or white or whatever, black and white, but it's galaxies and solar systems and planets, and you come in after a different god has set everything up, but you just disagree with all of their choices.
Wow. That'd be a crazy god game. You could just like grab a planet and crush it or something.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And you're like, you put an ice planet here? That's absurd.
Like, I mean, thinking, well, okay, if it's just a shoot 'em up, could it be instead of controlling a ship or something, you're the planet and you're objecting to like asteroids and other heavenly bodies trying to crash into you. So like you're just like traveling the stars and stuff, trying to survive like some cosmic forces. Like you must be destroyed. It's your time planet. And you're like, nope, black hole to get destroyed, meteor destroyed, supernova out, like escape sequence time.
I love it. It's very Huber inspired here. The Seventh Swimmer.
Have you ever seen The Swimmer?
No.
Burt
No.
Lancaster, most bizarre movie ever made. He goes around to get home. He goes to people's houses and like swims in their pools as he's like walking home. It's the weirdest movie. The Seventh Swimmer.
FMV horror swimming game.
Yes. FMV for sure. Yes.
Nice.
Tragically an 8 out of 10.
Right.
Like it's too good.
It's
Why?
too good. We're not swimming.
Damn it.
Only on Sega CD.
But released in 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fourth one. Alfred Hitchcock 64.
Oh, sick.
This
Oh
is
my
like
God.
the Metroidvania.
It's 64 though. Gotta think about it. There's polygons.
I mean, the first thing that came to mind is like, it's like that game, The Movies or whatever that new one was called, Blockbuster Incorporated.
Right.
But you're Alfred Hitchcock
Yeah.
and you're trying to make movies, Alfred Hitchcock movies, and you can do the scripting and you have to choose when your cameo will be, but it's all N64 style graphics.
So cool.
I really would. I would actually really love it if it was like a very low poly N64 game where like they are just trying to recreate Hitchcock movies.
Love
Yeah.
it. Obsessed with it.
And you have a assistant that drives you around the studio lot in a golf cart, but you can fire them if they piss you off and that kind of stuff.
Damiani.
It should either be like Space Station Silicon Valley
Ooh.
in terms of gameplay,
Okay.
or Body Harvest.
Body Harvest. When are we gonna play Body Harvest? Love Body Harvest.
Nice.
Soul Crusher says it's like Gex 64, but it's only Hitchcock references. I think that's
There you
pretty
go.
cool.
Were there any Metroidvanias on Nintendo 64?
I mean, there's the 3D
Uh,
Castlevania games.
yeah.
but I don't know for sure.
So no.
I can't think of one.
Wild. Interesting.
I mean, you have to think at the time, like
Yeah.
Symphony of the Night was
PS1,
the
yeah.
first Metroidvania,
I
really.
know. It's crazy.
So it's
Yeah.
like
yeah.
that was that time frame.
Crazy to think about.
The Hopeful Boys. How do we mess this one up?
This is like a low rent Jackbox spinoff.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they got Mark Wahlberg somehow
You know,
to
honestly,
voice something.
I feel like this could be like a crossed off title for As Dusk Falls. Like it's just As Dusk Falls. The Hopeful Boys. How do we mess this one up? That's As Dusk Falls. That's what it is.
Yeah. Very good, bud.
The Hopeful Boys.
Oh.
You know that one of them at some point goes, "Oh man, how did we mess this one up?"
Yep.
Well, if you hadn't peed in the guy's lemonade, we'd have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
That's from Daiki Kang.
Great.
P.S. Remember to send your Huber clips to the famous Sandhogs.
Oh yeah. That song, that cool
Remember
song.
that song that they made? Yeah.
That was
Diablo?
Yeah. Crazy. That's very funny.
What was in that? It was in Community Showcase, right?
Yeah, community show.
Yeah.
Look at this Community Showcase. It's good stuff.
Pulverized.
Pulverize. From Chris Irely. Happy spooky season, allies. Since it's October,
you.
I wanted to ask about any real-life horror experiences you have had in your many years of gaming. For example, I remember playing Twisted Metal on PS3. Ooh, good one. And was trying to beat the final boss on the hardest...
The PS3 one?
Yeah.
Nice.
Twisted Metal Black?
No, that's
No, the PS3 game.
The reboot.
Oh.
It was just called Twisted
Where
Metal.
you could turn sweets into a friggin' mech.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to beat the final boss on the hardest difficulty in order to unlock a secret character. I eventually succeeded, but
Oh no.
during the cutscene
No.
that plays
No.
when you beat him,
No.
my system shut down.
No.
And I discovered that the system overheated.
No.
I got a yellow light of death,
Oh my god.
indicating my system power supply had overheated and died. So to my horror, I was worried that I had lost years worth of save data on my console. I would not be able to retrieve the game disc from the disk drive, and whether or not the game saved my progress from that difficult fight. Oh, yeah, whether or not, yeah. Luckily, I was able to bring my system back to life by stripping it down to the motherboard, reapplying thermal paste to the GPU, and using a heat gun, which allowed me to turn my system on, get my game disc back, and back up my save data. And yes, the game had saved my progress on the boss fight.
Nice.
Crazy.
After that ordeal, I quickly replaced my system so that would never happen again. So, any frightful stories like that the panel has gone through before?
Oh yeah. I mean, the amount of times I would leave my NES paused in the living room only for mom and dad to come in and shut that thing off. Horrifying. Happened to me so many times in like Super Mario Bros. I'm so far and then just
Nice.
Yeah, I remember that was true all the way up to was it the game trailers, the Wii when Wii was the current system, because remember that stuff I was doing with Mega Man 9. I had to put that I put the post-it notes to because I had to leave it on overnight. I'm like, do not turn this off. I was like, please. But then they were like, oh, there was like a power outage like the week before, like a temporary one.
Yeah,
and they were like, you might be, this might happen. Plus, like, I was like, oh, please don't, because we had the power outage. So I was like, oh, even with these signs, so just watch. I'm gonna lose power. I'm gonna come back and it's not gonna work. I was like, oh, this is gonna be terrible. So yeah, those are always, any of those are always like not fun to go through. The anxiety.
Isla, what do you got? Anything?
I've told these before, I think, in our history, but my memory card corrupted when I was at the end of Tomb Raider, and I lost all my saves. And then my original playthrough of Silent Hill 1, still never beat it, because I ran out of ammo on the final boss.
Yes.
Just couldn't do anything. Could live forever, but just couldn't kill it.
Yeah.
so funny.
I have a slightly different kind of horror, which I think I've said this story at some point, but my first day at G4, Huber. So I think it was October. Pretty sure it was like in that time frame, because I was only there for a couple of months. But I was on Cheat.
Yep.
So like a whole show about game strategy, about like how to beat this boss, all of that stuff. And like the first day that I'm there, they give me some Samurai Warriors game, dude. I've never played any Dynasty Warriors or Samurai Warriors. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. But for some reason, I couldn't even beat like the first freaking mission. Like I was just having the hardest, most difficult time. And there was like a point where like I was starting to like panic because I'm like, this is my job. Like they hired me
cannot do
to
my
tell
job,
people how to beat video games, and I cannot beat this video game for some dumb reason.
Yeah.
And then, like it was just like I was.
What was wrong?
Terrifying.
What was
I don't know. I was like just not clicking with that game. I had not played them before, and there was no idea what was going on, what I was doing wrong. And it's like, man. And like, I don't even remember like how I got past that because I know I produced a segment. I know I did pull it off.
Fever dream, dude.
But man, those first couple of hours on that first day, I was like, oh boy.
Very funny. So funny.
Hope Jeremy doesn't come ask me how I'm doing.
So funny.
Because that was Jeremy Hoffman. He was my boss at G4.
Oh, yeah. I remembered
Shout out
another
Hoffman.
one.
Shout out.
My second job, I was working IT at the hospital where I grew up, St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin. Shout out, Nepo kid, because my dad was a doctor there or whatever. Probably how I got that job and why they didn't get more mad at me more often, because they probably should have. But one of my duties was removing viruses from all the computers. And I was like,
I thought you meant like pathogens.
Yeah, I was like,
Removing
viruses from
I
the
was
brain.
a doctor. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. You didn't know that? I'm a doctor. Anyway, so I was supposed to remove viruses from the computers, and I did, obviously. But one time I was putting I don't even remember what game it was, but it was like I was like hacking some game onto a computer in one of the unused offices, probably like Drug Wars or something. But like when I downloaded it, I put a virus on the computer. And when I realized I had put a virus on the computer, my true enemy, I remember my blood like turned to acid. I was like, oh shit, like this one's my fault. I got rid of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I made a similar mistake back when I was in radio. Like I was actually like at the control station, right? Like where everything is being broadcast. And this was still when I was very young and naive. I was like 18. Yeah, I would have been 18. And you know, and I'm just, it's like autopilot at that point, right? It's like early morning shift, whatever, Sunday morning, play the music, play the spots, Let me go to Zelda.com.
Oh.
Nintendo had not registered Zelda.com at that point. It was a full-on porn site on the work computer, and I'm like, oh no! And it's like doing the thing where you like try to close it, and then like other things are opening when you close it, and like, oh.
I did not have Daniel Bloodworth saying full-on porn site on my bingo card for today.
I was so glad that it was like I was on a shift where there was nobody else there.
I was in school still, so anytime anyone did that, like I did that, like it would just be blocked. And I was like, oh, because I didn't know. I'm like, oh, what's Zelda.com? Like, and it's like blocked. Go home. Like, oh, that's not okay. They haven't done it yet. And I remember I was like, oh yeah. And then
they've got
I remember
it now.
always like,
I just checked.
Well, it's like a big joke for like Zelda, like people online for years. Everyone's like, yeah, go to Zelda.com for like the official info and stuff. And it's like, no, you don't.
Wasn't that Tushy, the sponsor that we had for a while? They were always very specific.
Oh, right.
Hello, Tushy.com, not Tushy.com. Very different websites.
All right, it is time for bets. This
Yeah,
week's
who in chat checked Zelda.com just now?
play this fun trailer. Speedo Llama is out on Monday, October 21st. It is a run and gun game, kind of similar to Metal Slug in some ways.
Yo, why does this look sick as hell? What?
Just blasting away at high speed
the hell?
to fight back against the alpaca army. I
Looks
want to
sick as frick, dude.
Yeah, I want to know
Sick as frick.
in the launch trailer next week. I want to know how many words we will here.
Okay.
So in this previous trailer, there was a narrator that said things like, destroy the alpaca army and Speedo Llama. So how many words will be spoken out loud? Could be nothing. Could be a long dev diary. Who knows?
Could be 0, could be 1,000.
Yep. For reference, this release date trailer had 21 words spoken aloud. How many words, Damiani?
9.
9 for the pompous Cocker Spaniel. Huber, Stealthy Centipede.
23.
23. It's a little higher. Isla, Wet Hummingbird.
21.
21. Keeping it flat. Gabby, Optimistic Rat.
She says 10.
10. And I, the effervescent hippopotamus, went with 11. Right there on the edge. 9, 10, and 11 right there. Oh, last week's bet. Super Mario Party Jamboree is out. Huber was jonesing.
Dude,
He wanted to cancel this show.
I wanted to
and
cancel
play.
the podcast and just we play that instead.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
We will be playing it on group stream next week.
Yes.
Before the podcast.
For an extra hour. Can't back out now. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. 1 hour extra.
Before the podcast, I selected the first course that's available in Mario Party mode with CPU bots. And we decided to wait because when the CPU bots are there, when you're doing the turn order, they all are simultaneous. So we waited for the first actual roll of a CPU bot. And last week we had bet what that roll would be on the die. Damiani bet 3. Huber bet 3. Isla bet 4. Don bet 8. Gabby bet 8. I bet 1. And that dice roll was 5.
Fiver.
Making Isla the winner.
Boo, 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 boo.
That brings our scores to 11 for the Stealthy Centipede. And 8 for the Wet Hummingbird.
Yay.
Sweet.
Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. Everything that we do here on this show, on this channel, in the podcasts, in the streams, it is all because of lovely people just like you who decide to pitch in and keep this thing happening. Just like all the awesome people that are putting that EGM compendium together, making that project happen.
Yeah.
We've got people here that are doing this each and every month, keeping us going. So if you would like to pitch in and be a part of that, go to patreon.com/easyallies. For $5 a month, you get the podcast 2 days early. You get bonus Love and Respect questions that we shoot after the live stream. You get to submit your questions to Love and Respect. You get in the official Discord. You get the top 10s, all of that stuff. And then if you're at that $10 tier, you get on Community Showcase and Stream Team. So we had Stream Team this week, Community Showcase next week. Lots of good stuff there. And our Platinum producers, they get a shout out on this podcast each and every week. And this month's shout outs go to Jabawabs and El Thanis. Shout out. Earlier this week, Huber did a preview on Stalker 2.
Yes.
Good stuff there.
Very good.
People really looking forward to that one.
Very good.
Get in the zone.
Yes. For real. For real.
Like I said, we did a stream team this week for group streams, so we checked out some Next Best demos, including Anton Blast, Spirit of the Samurai. It was stop-motion, side-scrolling samurai game.
Yeah.
Freaky Zombies. Billionaire.
Billionaire.
Antidepressant.
Dude, Billionaire. Cheered me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, game rules.
Yeah. Isla went back and played more afterwards.
Nice.
I was feeling depressed that day, just, I don't know, chemicals. But, we played Billionaire, and I was like, this is great. And then I went home and watched 9 episodes of Batman Cape Crusader and played Billionaire.
That is a good night.
It was a good night.
That was a great night.
And right at the end, we slipped in a little bit of Voin.
Voin, dude.
It really lit a fire in our voins.
Yeah.
Dude, Voin.
And then next Monday, we mentioned it earlier, Trivia Tower over at MinMax. It's Min-max versus Easy 8. You got to get in there.
Get in there.
You got to win some trivia questions.
Yeah.
Huber, tell everybody what's up.
It's Min-max versus Easy Allies.
Min-max is community versus our
Yes.
community.
Yes.
It's
Specifically,
you.
not us.
Not
You
us.
versus them.
Yes.
You, the listeners.
Yes.
Get in our Discord and our
Don't
Patreon.
let Ben Hansen bribe you.
Yeah.
Don't let him pull you onto his team through
Yeah.
some nefarious means.
Exactly.
Whatever he offers you, we'll double it.
Yeah.
We probably can't do that, but
And then Jacob Geller and Isla will also be in attendance.
sick.
And yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. Definitely.
No, we don't get paid.
I can't say anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to give any hints, or I don't want anything to be. It's all above board. Everything's above board here.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is happening at 6 p.m. Pacific time
Monday.
over at Min-max.
Yes.
Isla,
Yeah.
you won that bet. So you get to shout out anything or anyone that's on your mind this week. You get the final word, and you get to sign off with your trademark sign off.
Shout out to the movie Radioland Murders. Does that hold up? I watched it a lot when I was a kid, and I was thinking about it recently. I think it's got like a pretty low score on Rotten Tomatoes. So who knows? But I loved it when I was 14. I just love radio plays. What can I say? Final word. I don't know. Everything's chill, baby. No, I didn't disagree with anything, and I have no thoughts in my head. So, yeah. Good night and good game.
We're finding out what the first CPU is going to roll in this. Here it goes.
Hence.
Just going with the defaults.
I think I said 4. I was said 4.
You just wanted to, no, that's okay. Do you
It's a six-sided.
Sure, yes.
Here we go.
Oh, it looks good.
Yeah. No, this map looks great.
Mega Wiggler.
Everything looks great. I
Ooh.
cannot wait to play this.
Tuesday?
Yes.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Is this out right now?
Yep.
Gosh
Came out
dang
this
it.
morning.
Yep. Tuesday, let's get here an hour earlier, actually.
Yeah, I'm
It's
down.
not
I'm down. I'm down. We've said that on video now, so
Yep.
we have to.
Yeah. This looks too good. This board is so cozy.
Yeah. Little lazy river, dude. Look at that duck.
I'm just going to say no.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
It was
It
simultaneous?
was simultaneous.
But that's the order, right? So let's actually do like a turn.
But that was. The
We
nice
said the
thing.
first. Well, we'll keep rolling and see what the first independent roll is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that happened at the same time. I think we were misremembering and thinking it happened one at a time.
Yeah.
Maybe it used to happen
It
one
may
at a
have.
time.
I think because we play.
When you play by
Together.
yourself,
Yeah.
it's only a CPU can do simultaneous.
This board is so cozy.
Otherwise, right to left, it was 5. But
Honeycomb Havoc nod in the back there.
oh,
Wait, right to left.
left to right.
Oh,
What did I say?
You said
said
right
right
to
to
left.
Listen,
Ducks.
it's been a weird week.
So it's gonna be this roll then.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever's the first CPU.
Okay.
It's Daisy.
So
Daisy.
is this a 10-sided die also?
Yeah.
Okay.
5.
Somebody
There
said
it
five.
is.
Somebody said 5. I was actually thinking on the entire car ride up about the strategy of this bet, where I was just thinking in my brain. I was like, well, if you pick like 2 and then somebody else picks 3, obviously they have 3
Right.
and 10.
That's why I picked in the middle.
So it's like if you pick 5,
I think I picked
You're-
4.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'll go see.
there it is. I
Time to
feel like
finalize
But
it.
that doesn't make sense. It's random though.
it is.
There's no like picking. Like that doesn't make sense.
No, but
It's
since
random.
it's
Right, so
closest,
strategies, though.
since it's
Price is Right.
closest, and you can go over.
Yeah.
Picking in the middle of the set gives you
Better
more
odds.
latitude up and down.
Yeah.
Whereas if you pick 2,
But there's 5 of us betting.
Right.
So
Yeah, with 5
the
it doesn't
likely-
really
Yeah,
the
yeah.
likelihood that someone
Yeah.
will be closer than another person
Yeah.
by that much is like nothing.
Yeah.
This is what I think of on my drives.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of like it.
Nice.
Yeah.